Hello, am I clearly audible? And is my extremely handsome face clearly visible? Okay, let's go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back. Lecture number 2, CA Intermediate, Direct Tax. As I clearly told you, the first lecture is going to be in the nature of an introduction. A lot of things required to be studied before actually starting the subject, direct tax. So we studied about, of course, faculty, CA Inter, CA course, taxation, what is tax, why government will levy tax, what is direct tax, what is indirect tax. We studied all of that. And now we are into direct tax. In our syllabus, we have only one law, that is Income Tax Act. If you earn income, you will have to pay tax. And for which we have the Income Tax Act 1961. Like any other law, this is divided in section 1, title and commencement. It is a 6-decade old law. So as such, you don't have to learn. Definitions, we will learn as and when required, whichever chapter required. Yes, we will learn. Previous year, we will come to the discussion, but that section which is going to serve as the Gita, Quran, Bible, Agam, Guru Granth Sahib, Kalpa Sutra, whichever religion you believe. I repeat, Gita, Quran, Bible, Agam, Guru Granth Sahib, Kalpa Sutra, whichever religion you believe in. This section is going to lay down the roadmap of what we have to actually learn in this subject. And that is section 4, the charging section. And you have to say it with me, and you have to say it again and again and again, because learning this section is learning the law. Kya sir? What is that charging section telling us? What is the section telling us? Kya sir? Kya? 1, 2, 3, start. What? Income tax is payable by every person in each assessment year on the net taxable total income earned during the previous year, depending upon residential status and scope of total income. So what do we have to pay? We don't have to pay our income. We have to pay income tax. The tax will be calculated on our income, but not income. The tax will be calculated on our net taxable total income. We will earn the income during the previous year, and very next year we will sit down and calculate and make the payment. That next year will be called assessment year. And because when we are calculating, the year of earning income is already over, therefore automatically that year is known as the previous year. When we say we have to pay, we means who? Every person. Every person will have to pay income tax. However, the calculation will depend on residential status and scope of total income. I once again tell you, this is yesterday's PDF, that charging section is only this much. But you can't actually go to the calculation without learning this part, because I gave you 4 situations. Indian earning in India has to pay tax. There was no discussion about it. Foreigner earning in his country does not have to pay tax. We are not discussing. We have the 2 in between situations. Indian going out and earning. In fact, we have the example of Indian cricket team right now playing in Australia. So do they have to pay tax? A question. Don't give the answer. The answer is in the second chapter, residential status and scope of total. And alternatively, if any, and cricket is an example because cricket in India is bigger than any other religion. Everyone understands it. So we take the example of cricket. It is not just cricket. It is any international performer coming to our country. For example, we have Coldplay, Chris Bhau Martin. Coldplay? Coldplay. Fix you. And then Book My Show actually made it. Forget it. You know what happened with the tickets, no? Or maybe that world's best DJ, Dimitri Vegas. I don't know if you heard his name. He's rated as world's best DJ. Or world's best stand-up comedian, Russell Peters, if he comes to India. Or everyone knows about that girl, Justina Bieber. Justina Bieber, that girl, she came to India to perform some years ago. Justina Bieber, you don't know. And what do you know? Shakira. हाँ तो शकीरा. हाँ. Duryodhan was killed by attacking his thighs. Are you aware of that? The final decision of the Mahabharata war was taken. It was a dual war between Bhim and Duryodhan, and finally Bhim attacked his thighs, and that is how Duryodhan was. हाँ, तो Shakira का what was it? Hips don't lie. हाँ, तेरा thighs. Okay, forget it. So the point is, any international performer can come to India and make money. Do you understand? Is that taxable? The answer to these two questions hidden in our second chapter, and therefore it will depend, yes, on residential status and scope of total income. So starting with the new page today and also explaining to you how our 18 chapters are placed. See, in our chapter 1, in yesterday's PDF, no, I have already written where I am going to teach you what. So which chapter will cover what. Our very first chapter is going to cover the definition of person, previous year and assessment year. If I teach you three things now, first chapter will get over. Then we go to the second chapter, which will give us answer to the two in-between situations, Indian going and earning outside and foreigner coming and earning here. And then finally, we have to learn 9 chapters for learning calculation of income, net taxable total income, and 3 chapters for calculation of tax. I will explain your chapter-wise placement. So we have our first chapter, basic concepts. Basic concepts is going to give us what? Definition, meaning of person, PY, will be taught to you here. So if this is the index, this is going to be your chapter called basic concepts, that will give us definitions. We learn 3 definitions, our first chapter will get over. Chapter 2, as I have told you already, will give us residential status, scope of total income. At least you are aware what are the 2 things for which we are looking for an answer before entering the second chapter. Indian going and earning outside and foreigner coming and earning here. These 2 questions ka answers we will get here. That's our second chapter, residential status and scope of total income. Once we do that, do you realize that in the statement that we have written in the charging section, there are 6 lines and 4 lines are over at the end of second chapter. Only 2 things are left after this. That is calculation. Calculation of 2 things. Calculation of income and calculation of tax. And for this we have, ladies and gentlemen, 9 plus 3, 12 chapters only on this. So after we get done with our second chapter, I will tell you syllabus is over. Only 2 things left. Sir, what 2 things left? Calculation of income and calculation of tax. Only 2 things left. Do you understand? Do you understand? Now, obviously, we as students have to first calculate our income, and on that income we will learn how to calculate tax. Of course, once you enter the profession, become a practicing CA, I told you about this also, your clients will come and tell you, I want to pay this much tax. How do they come to that amount? I have to tell you that also. Supposingly, you want a bank loan. So the bank expects you to have some income. See, bank loans will be given to you if you prove that you don't need it. Mark the depth of the statement. A bank will give you a loan only if you can prove that you don't need it. You have to show the bank that you are very rich and you have the repayment capacity. Then only they will sanction your loans. For that, you need to have some income and some tax in government records. You orally saying I have income is not acceptable. And therefore, your income tax records should reflect some income, some tax. So the bank manager advises that if you have at least 1 lakh tax paid in a year, no, we will sanction your loan. So then the client will come to you, sir, 1 lakh tax. So for that, how much income will be required? We do reverse calculation. And in fact, we do journal entry last. I told you about that process yesterday. But as a student, you will first calculate obviously income and then you calculate tax. Now for income, we have 9 chapters. Chapter number 3 to chapter number 9. Our incomes that we earn will be divided into 2 parts. Incomes on which the government wants tax, they will be known as taxable income. So those incomes on which we pay tax will be called taxable. And there are certain incomes for which government, on which government does not want tax. Give me one example. Agriculture income. You in casual language can call it not taxable, not taxable. But from day one, I want you to avoid that language. To the extent possible, talk to me in legal and technical language. Learn from day one only. We will call it exempt income. Exempt income is that income on which government does not want tax. This is our chapter number 3. If I may show you, incomes not forming a part of total income, which means these incomes are going to be considered as exempt income. So we don't have to include them in your NTTI. We have to exclude them from your NTTI. So what we will do is, from our total, we will first remove those incomes, and thus we will be left with our taxable incomes. Is that clear? So we need to learn on which incomes, because agriculture is only an example on which incomes we don't have to pay tax in our country. We will have to learn that chapter called exempt income. Once we learn that, now we come to those incomes on which we have to pay tax. Our income tax law has divided those incomes into 5 types, 5 categories. And just like you have learned this technical term, on day 1 itself, you are not going to say non-taxable income. You are going to say exempt income. Similarly, here also, you will, from the first day itself, stop calling it 5 categories or 5 types. Our income tax law calls them the 5 heads of income. Taxable income of income tax law will be divided in 5 categories, 5 types, and the legal name is not category or type. The legal name is the 5 heads of income. There are 5 chapters which will make you learn how to calculate income which is taxable. Whatever income you can possibly earn, there is no end. It is infinite. Unlimited types of incomes you can earn. Remove the exempt ones. So you are left with the taxable, and they will be classified, categorized into one of the 5 categories. Types. From day 1, call them 5 heads of income. They will be divided in the 5 heads of income. Sir, let's understand what are these 5 heads of income, because these are not just heads of income, bro. They are our next 5 chapters. Let's see what are those chapters. 1. Globally, the 2 main ways of earning income. Think about it. You are in your student life right now. Once you enter your working life, you will have 2 options. 1, you work for others. So every month you will get something called salary, very famously known as income from salary, IFS, income from. Alternatively, you develop the entrepreneur within yourself, and other people will work for you. Such people are known as people doing a business if you sell goods, or profession if you sell services. So that is known as profits and gains of business or profession. And very popular short name of this chapter, PGBP, profits and gains of business or profession. PGBP, ladies and gentlemen, in inter it comes for 15 marks out of 50. 50, this is 1515, and in final also it comes for 14 marks out of 100. Out of 150 marks direct tax that you have to study, 29 marks is this chapter. Only this chapter. It will take 8 lectures to do this chapter. 8 hours nahi. One lecture has 4 hours, no. 8 lectures only for this one chapter. PGBP. The 2 main sources, and salary is also not very small. If PGBP takes 8, salary will take at least 6 to 7. Only a little smaller than PGBP. And very important chapter. PGBP is the most important chapter of your entire syllabus. So 5 categories. I have told you the first and the third. First is salary. Third is PGBP. Sir, what is the second head of income? Our income tax law has created a head called income from house property. This is also having a very famous short name, IFHP. We call it IFHP, income from house property. House property income. Sir, what is this? This head of income is going to tax you on your rentals. In a country like India, earning rental income from properties is as frequent as earning your salary. Just like you are going to get salary every month, your business profits every month, you will be earning rent every month if you have given your property to someone. Usually, it should be considered as your side income, investment income. See, you are not actively involved. Think about it. In salary or business, you have active involvement. Every day you are working to earn your salary or working to earn your business income. But in house property, it is not active involvement. Once you invest in the property and hand it over to someone, thereafter every month you get the rent without active involvement. Do you agree with that? But in a country like India, there is concentration of wealth in the hands of few people. I am focusing on the logic. Otherwise, I have an option to tell you three heads: salary, house, property, business. Two more coming up. The income tax law has classified. But there is logic behind everything. You just need someone to identify that logic for you. Not just what is written in the law, but why do we need a separate head of income for this? Salary and business are two active sources, so we need separate calculation. But this could have been considered as your general other income, the last category which we have. Why do we have a separate category only for this? Because in India, it is as popular as a salary and business. In India, please understand, there is concentration of wealth. If you are rich, you are very rich. If you are poor, you are very poor. You will find one person having 10 houses, another maybe not having even one. I used to earlier stay in an area called Cherny Road in South Mumbai. Only 5 years ago, I migrated Parapranti. I migrated to this place called Kalachok for better facilities. You know, our childhood has gone in a very humble manner. Don't want to give the same childhood to my son. So better building with better facilities, with better amenities, decided to move to this part of the city. So first time when I came here, the rent of that house was, I think at that time it was somewhere around 1,10,000. Now it has gone to 1,50,000 plus. So one day when I went to the owner's house to give him the rent money, he also, it's a luxurious building. Next to it is another luxurious building. He stays in the next building. So I went to his house to give the rent money. So he first offered some tea, biscuits, etc. Then he took me to another house on the same floor in his building where he used to stay. This house was also his own. He's like, yeah, you know, I have two grandsons. I was like, yeah. And my house has only two bedrooms. So one bedroom is used by my son and his wife. Myself and my wife, we are to, you know, we have grown in middle class. We have seen poverty. We don't need separate bedroom. We adjust in the hall. But now my grandsons were fighting with each other for the second bedroom. Both are saying my bedroom, my bedroom. I got sick and tired. Finally, I purchased the next door house. Which my reaction was, wow, bro. जिंदगी हो तो ऐसी हो. What life, bro? What life? He purchased a house because his grandchildren were fighting for one bedroom. And then after further discussion with him, I realized that he has in the nearby area, in the entire, we call this the Lalbagh Parel Kalachoki belt area, all luxury high rises of this area. He has one flat in every building given on rent. He is making at least 10 to 15 lakh rupees per month on rent, through rent. Because every house is in the range of 1 lakh to 1 lakh 52. There are a couple of buildings which go up to 2 lakh also. And he has one house in every luxury society. 15 lakh rupees per month he is earning in the form of only rent. Do you understand how popular this head of income is? On the other hand, in our country, there are people who don't have money to buy a single house. They sleep on footpath and film stars kill them. Oh, sorry, they are drivers. Driver. They kill them. You know which film star we are talking about? Salman Khan, driver. It was his driver. The black buck poaching The attack that he did on wildlife in Rajasthan, that was also his driver. He never did anything. Physical assault of his female friends also was done by his, maybe someone else. Salman Khan does not do anything. He is a very nice guy. Exactly. So considering the popularity of this head of income, this is created as a separate head. So salary is recurring income. It will be classified under income from salary. Rentals are recurring. They will be classified under house property, and business profits also are recurring. They will be classified under PGBP. But now you will be having certain non-recurring incomes. First, you will be having abnormal incomes in the form of capital gains. Whenever you sell your asset, see, one, you have property, you are earning rent, that is recurring. But the profit on sale of any asset is capital profit. Do you understand? It can't be mixed with your salary or rental or your business income, because this non-recurring abnormal profit will show incorrect picture of your regular incomes. And therefore, we classify our non-recurring abnormal profits under a separate head of income called capital gains. Bro, 8 lectures for capital gains also. So if I have to take roughly 40 to 45 lectures with you, 40 may will get done mostly. Out of 40 lectures, 30 will only be calculation of NTTI. Only. First 4 lectures will get done with the first 2 chapters, basic concept and residential status. Then 30 lectures only for NTTI. About 2 lectures, 2.5 lectures for the 3 chapters of tax calculation. And in the balance 3 or 4 lectures, the rest of the chapters will get over. NTTI alone will take 30 lectures. Bro, till now I have told you only salary, PGBP and capital gain. 8, 8 and 7. House property will also take 2 lectures. Small chapter. Very small chapter. But still 2 lectures. Exempt income will also take 2 lectures. All this is a part of that 30. And we are not done after the heads, because this is chapter 3. This is chapter 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 3 to 9, 3 to 11. Total 9 chapters. So we have 3 more chapters coming up. But first, what is the last head of income? Observe these heads, and is everything covered? Okay, there can still be some incomes which are not yet classified anywhere. For example, your bank interest. That is not salary or business or rent or abnormal profit, or your dividend or rent or not rent, interest that you earn on your debentures. These are non-recurring incomes, and they cannot be classified as any of the activities. So for which income tax law has created a category called etc. etc. General. This name itself is very, very explanatory, self-explanatory. Income from other sources. Income from other sources, we call it IFOS. Income from other sources. Anything that will not go in any other head will be classified under income from other sources. IFOS. Did you understand this? These are your 5 heads of income. Income from salary, house property, PGBP, capital gain and other sources. So we have done 6 chapters under NTTI, and still NTTI is not over, because NTTI contains total of 9 chapters. NTTI contains total of 9 chapters. First we remove the exempt income, then we take the taxable income, and taxable income will be divided into 5 heads. The recurring sources are salary, business and rent, because in India it is recurring. Abnormal is capital gain, and all other income will be classified under income from other sources. After taking the total of these 5 heads, what we get is not NTTI. Bro, this is not even gross total income. For gross total income also we have 2 more chapters. So totally there are 3 chapters still remaining. 9 hai na? 3 more remaining. Next, chapter number 9, we have a chapter called clubbing of income. Clubbing. CA students. Expectation versus reality. This is not that clubbing. Subah hone na dil ye shaam. एक दूसरे को नहीं. This is clubbing of income. Clubbing of income means you will be paying tax on income of other person. Okay. Sir, can you repeat? एक minute. What? See, I earn income, I pay tax. You earn income, you 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 pay tax. We are saying A will earn income, B will pay tax. I X will earn income, Y will pay tax. The income will be clubbed in the income of Y. Sir, I don't understand. How is that possible? Matlab, just imagine my neighbor's wife is earning income and I am paying tax. Oh, forget the tax part, look at the love. I share extremely cordial relations with my neighbor and his wife. Every time my wife is not at home, she is so cooperative. She gives me food. So extremely cordial relations. She will earn income. I will no, but I have clearly told her that see, love is one side. I am not going to pay tax. How can you make me pay tax on income of anybody else? I'll give you one example right now. I am not teaching the chapter. I am only telling you what our chapters are. Anybody who is a minor child? Anyone? No one? Most of you all are graduates. And those who are foundation students mostly should be in your first year of BCom or second year of BCom. Second year mein to you are not a minor, I understand. First year mein you are, because, and even if you are not a minor, you've just turned major, just recently, just some time back. Actually, every time when I start as CA inter ka batch for a May attempt, the first batch, a lot of students are minor. As the batch progresses, slowly and slowly, one by one, the 18th birthday comes. And then I have a lifetime stamp on them that I have seen you become an adult right in front of me. But this is the second batch for the year. I just completed one intermediate batch and I have come. So during the last few months, I think most of you all have turned major. Maybe nobody is a minor child. Don't hide it, bro. No. Minor child does not have brain. Matlab, until few months ago, you also. Wait. Minor child does not have brain. Minor cannot have income. If a minor has earned income, it simply means that the income was earned by the parent and they have only tried to show it as the income of the minor. So any income earned by minor will be added in the income of the parent, clubbed in the income of the parent. So if I am the parent of a minor child. If I have calculated my income, if there is any other income earned by my son, I will add that also in my income, and that is called clubbing of income. When I will add, and minor is an example. There are quite a few transactions over there, and of course there will be so many questions in your mind. Sir, why do we do this? Why has the parent tried to show it as minor's income? Why are we clubbing it? Sir, what if the minor genuinely has earned the money by acting in movies or dance performance or singing performance? All answers will be given when we actually do the chapter. Right now, I'm only explaining what is the chapter. You have to pay tax on income of other person. Example is parent will pay tax on income of minor child. Minor child. Understood? That is our chapter number 9, clubbing of income. We still don't have our GTI also. Advocate provide services, we pay them, but they have to pay tax. Who pays tax? We have to pay tax. To whom? To the government. Really? I have heard of Google knowledge? So where? Nonsense it is. Because whoever told you has given you half knowledge, and half knowledge is worse than no knowledge. What you are talking about is reverse charge mechanism under indirect tax GST, and you have not even started your GST lectures. So don't unnecessarily confuse yourself. Google knowledge is the worst knowledge. If Google knew everything, then we were not required to have teachers. Artificial intelligence can never be superior to natural intelligence, human intelligence, because there is a human brain which created artificial intelligence. Okay, so wait for your GST lectures to start. What is that reverse charge under which you pay the fees of the lawyer, and under reverse charge you pay directly the GST to the government? I am not interfering in the GST wala part. The income earned by the lawyer, he will only pay tax. It is not club. It is not club. So right now the only example is minor child. Let this be a small example. One fine day when we go to the chapter, you'll get to know the real meaning of clubbing of income. We still don't have NTTI. Bro, we still don't have GTI also. Now, chapter number 10, there is a chapter called Set Off and Carry Forward of Losses. Set off and carry forward of losses. Is it possible that I am doing two businesses here? Is it possible that I have one business that is making profit of 5 lakhs? I am selling electronics. I have made profit of 5 lakh. And I am also selling furniture where I have suffered loss of 2 lakh. Is that possible? So the net that I will show for tax will be 3 lakh. I will pay tax on 3 lakh. I am adjusting this loss against my profit and I will pay tax only on the net amount. That chapter will be known as Set Off and Carry Forward of Losses. This chapter will teach us which loss we are allowed to adjust against which profit. If we do not have profit, it is possible I am doing only one business, I don't have the profit. I am allowed to, can you believe this, carry forward the loss to the next year. See, year one of business, everyone suffers losses. So I suffered loss of 2 lakh. Next year, when people now know me and my work, I earn more money. I earn 10 lakh rupees. So second year, against 10 lakh, I will adjust something called the brought forward loss, 2 lakh, and pay tax only on that amount of 8 lakhs. So I can set off in the current year or I can carry forward to the future year. Everything will be taught to you in this chapter called Set Off and Carry Forward of Losses. Set off and carry forward of losses. And after doing clubbing set off, what we get is, bro, even now not your NTTI. This will be known as something called GTI, that is gross total income. Gross total income. And we have to pay tax on NTTI. From this GTI, last chapter, chapter 11, last chapter of NTTI. After that, we have to go to the second calculation. I'll teach you that also. Last chapter, we will be eligible for some deductions. These are known as the deductions under chapter 6A of Income Tax Act. Here is where I spoke about getting deduction for paying life insurance premium, medical insurance premium, donation to charitable trust. Our government wants to encourage all of that. And for encouraging all of that, our government is giving you deduction. Understand the legal significance of a deduction in income tax. A deduction means you are minusing something. When you minus something, that means you are reducing the answer. That means you are going to pay tax on a lower amount. So do you understand the statement? A deduction means tax benefit. Because it is reducing the amount on which I am supposed to pay tax. So we are going to get certain deductions. We take them as tax benefit, and after taking these deductions, after taking these, after taking these deductions, what we get is our net taxable total income. Bro, 30 chapters to learn, 30 lectures to learn these nine chapters. Deductions will take about 3.5 lectures. IFOS and house property are very small, 2 lectures each. Exempt income, 2 lectures. But bro, salary 7 lectures, PGBP and capital gains 8 lectures each. PGBP 15 marks, capital gains 10 marks, together 25 marks, which is 50% of your direct tax. And in final CA also, capital gain comes for 10 marks and PGBP comes for 14 marks. That again makes it 24. So 50 marks almost out of 150 marks. 1/3 of the direct tax that you study in your life is from PGBP and capital gains. The two chapters that you have to give maximum importance, discipline and sincerity. And therefore, good thing is that, we first do chapter 1, chapter 2, then we go to exempt income, then we first complete these two heads of income. So by the time we go to PGBP capital gain, we have actually already completed 5 chapters. You and me are comfortable with each other. If in the beginning you're still not disciplined, you're still coming 5 minutes late, slowly and gradually I will sort everything. Because by the time we enter PGBP capital gain, we are in the no nonsense zone of income tax law. Because if you don't do that, that means you're wasting time. Everything else is a total waste if you don't take PGBP and capital gain seriously. So yes, we have quite some time still remaining to reach those chapters. But these are our 9 chapters of calculation of NTTI. After we finish NTTI, then we go to tax calculation. We have our 12th chapter that has given us the tax rates. See, once we calculate our income, what percentage we have to apply, that is taught to us in chapter number 12. So chapter number 12 is very simple, tax rates. However, from this tax, you will be getting some relief. Relief means whatever tax you have calculated will be reduced. Think about it as a taxpayer. Are you happy? If your tax is getting reduced, you are getting relief. Are you happy? So we need to learn what is that relief. That will be taught to us in chapter number 13. And then in chapter number 14, we have something called AMT, alternate minimum tax, which says whatever tax you have calculated, minimum this much you will have to pay. If this is 5 lakh and this is 6 lakh, then you have to pay minimum 6 lakh. If this is 6 and this is 5, then you are paying that minimum amount. No? Then you can pay this amount itself. Or if you don't want me to complicate things for you, let me speak in simple language. Finally, you will have to pay this tax, your normal tax, or your alternate minimum tax, whichever is higher. So does your AMT also affect the tax that we have to pay to the government? So we have 3 chapters that will teach us only what? How to calculate tax. Tax rates, tax relief, and alternate minimum tax. Is that clear, everyone? After that, I hope you understand, here is where your syllabus gets over. So we are done with 14 chapters. At the end of 14 chapters, income calculation and tax calculation is over. But sir, we still have 4 chapters. Now, what are these 4 chapters? I will first be doing with you chapter number 18. Means I will jump the order. After 14, I will directly go to 18, which is a chapter called return filing. After 14, I directly go to 18, return filing. What is that? Then I'll explain what is 15, 16. You have earned income. You know your income. You've applied the rates, so you know your tax. Do you know your own income? Do you know your own tax? But the officer who is sitting in the income tax department, we call that officer AO, assessing officer, because he is going to do your assessment. Assessment means calculation. He is the officer who will do this, and therefore we call it assessing officer. In fact, you, the taxpayer, will be known as assessee, because you are being assessed to tax. The word assessment means calculation. Calculation of income, calculation of tax. Are we doing the assessment on you? So we call you the assessee, and the officer the assessing officer, and the process is known as the assessment, and it will be done in the assessment year, because in the previous year you are busy earning income. So the officer sitting in the income tax department does not know your income and tax. See, I come back to the beginning. Do you know your income? Do you know your tax? But the assessing officer, you know who is the assessing officer now? He does not know your income. See, he is not Nirmal Baba, Asaram Bapu. He does not have any of the supernatural powers which all these Babas have. You will have to communicate your income. You will have to tell him, sir, this is my income. How will you do it? WhatsApp. Hey bro, what's up? Long time. Let's catch up. Hey bro, this is my income, bro. Tax it, bro. Oh bro, chill, no bro. Don't levy so much of tax, no bro. No. WhatsApp, iMessage. Someone like, sir, मैं iPhone use कर. तो iMessage, नहीं, Insta Messenger. Officer has liked your message. नहीं तो you will have to fill a form in which you will give details of your income. Earlier we used to do physically filling of forms. Now everything is online. In that form you will give details of this calculation only and submit the form online. Calculation of income, calculation of tax, submit the form. Now it happens online. When I was a student, I started with physical and somewhere in between online came. I have seen both during my student life, but your generation will never get to see physical filing of income tax forms, income tax return, because everything now is digitalized. You have to submit that form. That form is called filing of income tax return. You often hear people saying ITR filing, ITR filing, ITR filing. Anybody has chartered accountant in their family, home, friends, relatives? Who? Cousin. What's your name? Hey, purposely you all are keeping difficult names to confuse me. Spell your name. RUSHKID. AID. Acha, I thought Rush Kid. No. KID means Rushed. Acha, now I am pronouncing it. Rushed. And you? Arey, naam nahi. You raised your hand, no? Someone is a CA. Who? Real Chachu, father's younger brother. Real younger brother. हाँ, चाचू means छोटे भाई होंगे ना बोलो. हाँ. His name is so confusing. I actually forgot what I was saying. These chartered accountants. Now I remember. These chartered accountants will often tell you, "Sir, I am very busy, very busy. This is the return filing season. There are due dates. 3 due dates come in a year. Those who do international transaction with foreign assessees, the due date comes in the month of November. Those who undergo audit, their due date comes in the month of October. And those who don't fall in any of these cases, their due date comes in the month of July. So we very famously call them John. 31st July for normal people, October for audit people, and November for international tax people. John. Then if we miss this date, we can file something called a belated return by December. 31st December is the last date to file that return. If you have filed and you want to make any change, we call it revised return. So all these concepts will be taught to us in the chapter called. See, income ka calculation, tax ka calculation, the calculation part is over. Now we are learning the procedural part. You've calculated, now communicate. That communication will be called return filing. Illiterate people call it ITR. Technical name is ROI, return of income. Filing of ROI, filing of return of income. ITR also, it is so popular that people find it correct only, income tax return filing. But the legal terminology used in the act is ROI, return of income. That we will have to learn, chapter number 18. So in our return, have we communicated our income and tax to the department, income tax department? It will be checked by a person called assessing officer. This communication is not enough. You can be like, yes sir, my tax liability is 5 lakh. Arey, yes sir, nahi pay. And for payment, we have 3 chapters. We have 3 chapters for recovery of taxes. We have your chapter number 15, which is talking about something called advance tax and interest. You have to pay some tax in advance. Year end pay, we will settle. What is your liability and how much already you have paid. If you've paid more, they give you refund also. And if you've paid less, you pay the difference. If you don't pay your advance tax on time, you will have to pay interest also. That will be taught to us here. And chapter 16 and 17, we have something called TDS and TCS. Whenever you earn income, from whichever source you earn income, certain tax will be deducted by the payer only. In advance, it will be paid to the government. And don't worry, that money is not going to go anywhere. That money will stay with the government like your advance. Say you get 1 lakh rupees ka payment. And from that 1 lakh, you pay 10,000 advance tax. So in your income, you have to add 1 lakh. And end of the year, when you pay your tax, you pay 10,000 less. Because you've already paid advance. TDS will do what? You will not receive only that 1 lakh. The payer will give you only 90,000 and on your behalf pay 10,000 to the government. So it is as good as you have received the full 1 lakh. because 19 cash and 10,000 in advance paid to the government. Year end pay you can take the credit. In fact, if you don't have tax liability, then government will return that 10,000 to you. So 90 you will get in cash and 10,000 you will get in credit. It is like an advance tax. So when the payer will deduct your tax, we call it TDS, tax deducted at source. Sometimes for certain goods, what happens? I am making payment to purchase. For example, if I go and buy a car worth more than 10 lakhs, so the car company will take from me something called TCS, tax collected at source. 1% is the rate. So the car company will take 12 lakh and 12,000. But that 12,000 does not mean that it is increasing the cost of my car. Car ka cost is still 12 lakh only. Year end pay, when I have to pay my tax liability, I will pay 12,000 less because the car company will take this 12 and give it to the government. I will get credit. That is also like advance tax. So from these three places, government is doing recovery of money. So these chapters are about the procedure. First, you learn how to calculate. Calculate two things. Which two things? Entity I and tax. Once calculated, you have to do two things. Communicate your income and pay your taxes, for which we have these 4 chapters, and that is where CA Inter ka syllabus gets over. In fact, these 4 chapters together will have a weightage of about 4-5 marks. Total weightage. About 2-3 marks for return filing and 1 or 2 marks for TDS TCS. Very rarely you will get to see questions on this. If institute wants to set a very difficult paper, so they will ask you questions from this. Difficult paper does not mean they have asked you something out of the syllabus. They are asking everything from the module. Difficult paper means they are asking you more questions from the less important chapters. In any case, we are not going to leave anything. This is general student tendency. Near the exam, when there is too much to study, you have to ultimately cut down on something. And you end up cutting down these topics only because their general weightage is not total 4 chapters, is not more than 4 or 5 months. You end up cutting down. So once, I still distinctly remember that exam, November 2022 CA Intermediate, November 22, 3 years ago, was the toughest CA Inter paper I have seen in 14 years of teaching. Because they asked so many questions from this part. Most students could not answer. Thankfully, unlike other coaching classes or teachers, I had covered these chapters also in complete detail. So my students thankfully did not face any difficulty. We are not going to leave anything only because it is less important. Anything which is removed from your syllabus. Now, for example, ICAI has made specific announcement that following section will not be in your syllabus. Only that we will leave. Anything which is in your syllabus, we will do it. Less important, more important. We'll do our practice from our side, then let institute decide to, let them decide what they want to ask. These are your, ladies and gentlemen, 18 chapters. So, first 2 chapters will finish 4 concepts from our charging section. Charging section says what? Income tax is payable by every person in each assessment year on the net taxable total income earned during the previous year, depends on residential status and scope of total income. Correct? So now we have to one by one learn those 3 concepts which will be taught to us in the first chapter itself. First concept, section 231. So section 2 means definition. And I told you, wherever we need definition, we will learn the definition of person. Because income tax is payable by every person. So we need to know who is that person. Because normally if you are asked, sir, every person, so you will say, sir, you and me, you and me. Arey, no, not you and me. What do you mean by every person? You and me are only a part of this definition. Person means an assessee who will be liable to pay tax. Why do we call you assessee? Because you are going to be subjected to the process called assessment. So any taxpayer in our country is known by the name of assessee. Who will be falling in the definition of assessee under the income tax law? Who are these persons? If you think that, by the way, going by the charging section, which person has to pay income tax? What was that second line? Every person. So when asked, sir, what do you mean by every person? The reaction is, so every person. No. When you say you and me, we are only the first point in the definition of person. Let us understand who has to pay income tax in our country. Persons in our income tax law are divided in a total of 7 categories. 7 types of persons will have to pay income tax in India, and you and me are only the first point. The very first person in the definition of assessee liable to pay tax is going to be someone called an individual. This is where your technical study starts. I had told you that class notes, there are 3 ways: you write, you take photocopy, or you access it where I will upload. Now, I was told that some students, specifically the painful iOS guys, are having difficulty in accessing. You got the access? दो phone you keep 2 phones, bro. अरे bro. See, the moment you have a CA in your family also, no. अरे, how do you travel? मतलब, two drivers must be coming along with you. How do you travel? Train. Exactly. गाड़ी का, there is a pay and park. Where do you come from? Bhai, sorry if I offend you. I have to go back home. Don't be Sanders Road. Proper Masjid Bandar. Bro, whole childhood has gone. मतलब childhood is still going on. Here only. In this area only. I am not an outsider, bro. Born and brought up in South Mumbai. माझा जन्म मुंबईमध्ये झाला. I can't speak too much of Marathi in class. I love talking to people in Marathi when the other person understands Marathi. And also when the other person does not understand at all. There are 2 occasions when I love speaking in Marathi. So, for example, my gym trainer, my sir, he is Maharashtrian. So every time I have to do private boys talk, my wife also does the workout with me. So if I have to do private boys talk, कैसा होता है ना, you know, so I do it with him in Marathi. So my wife does not understand anything. So you talk about Dongri or Masjid Bandar or Paidoni, or you name an area, and it's not that I have not seen that area. So bro, you and me are only. अच्छा, वो app में you are getting the access. Everyone else, under you download the app, then go to the free courses. At the top you will see a green bar. When you scroll the green bars, so the last PDFs are your batch PDF, because the courses are in chronological order. So your batch just started, so the last PDF will be your batch PDF. So I have written 17th December batch will be able to access it. Android maybe it is accessible. I don't know what. iOS maybe it is working very well. There must be some problem with your device. But if you have registered with one email address on one device, now you can register that email on any other device. Now you have to create. If you want to create another account, you have to register with another email address. One email will work only on one device. And I was surprised to be asked this. Someone asked me this question, sir, is your app download free or paid? Hilarious. क्या comedy question. Bro, if it is paid, no, please understand, when it is paid, no, people will not download. There is no, obviously there cannot be, and there will not be, and there is not any charge for downloading and registering. And free courses are accessible to them. Paid courses, of course, anybody who has paid, only pay, that part will be accessible only to those who have paid, and only that particular course for which they Paid, your data is under the free courses tab. Downloading and registering is absolutely, of course, to which your reaction, no, no, sir, but you are collecting my data. No, you are collecting my mobile number for OTP and email. Where am I going to misuse your data? Sell it to other coaching classes? You, bro, are already sitting in my class. Where and how am I going to misuse your data? Where, who am I going to sell it to? See, you register on any web portal, no? They sell your data to sellers. For example, WhatsApp is free. WhatsApp is not free. You message someone that I am thinking about buying shoes. Just message someone on WhatsApp that I am thinking of buying shoes. Then check your Instagram, then check your Facebook. It will only show you ads for shoes. Because they are all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, owned by one company, Meta. And they are sharing all that data. You are talking to someone on WhatsApp call, they are getting access to all the recordings. Bro, all the things that you are doing, they have access. But don't worry, they will not share it with family members. They have access. Bro, they must be wondering what a guy. They have access to everything. All your conversations, they have access. So that they can show you the relevant ads on the basis of user behavior. How does search engine work? Websites which are monetized, for example, IRCTC is a monetized website. IRCTC will show you ads. The ads will be based on user preference. What is your otherwise general Google search history? What are your preferences? On that basis, ads are shown to you. Anybody who continuously accesses ICAI.org or any such websites, so IRCTC will show you ads of CA coaching classes. Now you know why those kind of videos come when you are accessing IRCTC. Arey, motivational video. You always Google, no? Motivation to study, motivation to work hard. So such videos come as suggestions to you. You search that only, no? Okay. What do you search? Old Balaji. So app download is free and you will be getting access to the daily PDF over there. And out of love and affection, you want to buy anything, so you can buy from the website. I will not send. E-commerce website hai. It is basically list of products, video lectures, books, etc. You do add to cart like any e-commerce website. Add to cart, then proceed to checkout. So they will show you your cart items. Of course, sometimes we generate coupon codes which you can apply for discount, but coupon codes don't work all around the year. They are selected festival seasons when we announce. If there is any coupon code, that much will be discounted, final price. Then you say proceed to payment. It will give you options, net banking, credit card, debit card. I suggest not to pay by credit card, debit card, because credit card, debit card results in bank charges on the seller. You don't have to pay, but I have to pay 1.5%. And there is one more option, UPI. The moment you choose UPI, one QR code will flash. You just have to scan the QR code and make payment. And UPI is free as per government regulation. But credit card charges it. So once when I said this in a batch, the student told me, sir, now so I will pay by credit card only. I said, okay, pay. And pay now. Buy now. See, ultimately, whichever mode you pay, as long as you pay me, it is okay. So only to learn how e-commerce works, how the end-to-end process works, how the moment you scan the QR code, make payment, automatically you will get an email. We have received your order will be processed. Books will be reaching you in 10 days. Soft copy, if you are buying of books, it will be processed in 48 hours. Video lectures will be instantly activated. We have Netflix-like system. You make payment and your lectures will get activated. Immediately you can get access. At 2 o'clock in the night also you feel like I want to watch some videos. Lectures. Video lectures, bro. At 2 in the night you feel you want to watch lectures. You can buy anything and start watching. Just to understand how this process works, how e-commerce works, you are free to buy anything. App and website are by the same name. So everyone else, now you are getting access, because from now onwards we will have technical study. We are actually learning the income tax law now, and for that you will need your daily notes for revision purposes. So either you write or you photocopy or you take the access. I have seen a lot of students very sensibly what they do is they don't write in class so that they don't distract themselves from the explanation. They go home and revise from the app PDF, and then in their notebook take down those notes so that subsequent study they can do from their own book. And in fact, one time writing is equivalent to 3 times reading. So that practice also happens, and a lot of students then later make their notes from the same PDF. That is also an option available. Whichever way you will have to revise. Income tax is payable by every person. First assessee in the definition of person is individual, and you will be surprised to hear this. Our income tax law has given definition of individual. Definition है. They say individual means someone who is a natural person, born out of a natural process. Lol. Bro, reproduction in animals is also natural. School guys, school. You've heard of photosynthesis, sunlight, water. That is also natural process. And therefore, to avoid confusion, we are referring to human being. Natural person means human being. And human being, don't interchange these words, otherwise it will become murderer. Murderer. Don't interchange the words. So we are talking about human being. Understand the pattern in which I write. Whatever is written in the law, you will see me writing in black color. If I have to give any explanation or any point to be noted or anything like that, I will change the color to blue. I will give example in green color. Now I am going to give you examples. And if there is any new part in the law, any amendment in the law, so I will use red color. I said this is an amendment. This is newly introduced section. This came in the latest budget. I will discuss about budgets when I come to previous year and assessment. So the color pattern is also going to help you for better understanding. For now, some examples of what is an individual. Individual means natural person. Matlab, listen. Amitabh Bachchan is an individual. Amitabh, not Abhishek, because for income tax there has to be income also. So Amitabh, Abhishek. You can still consider Aishwarya also. Is he individual? Yes. Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar. Sachin Tendulkar. He is God, no? In income tax, it is always individual. Income tax, mein every natural person will be considered as individual. Rajnikant, he is God for you, but in income tax, he is individual. Because I have some students from Kerala also. See, I took one example from Bollywood, one from cricket, one from Tamil movies, one from Malayalam movies. Mr. Mohanlal. There's Mammootty also, but I don't know Mohanlal. He is Malayalam movies ka #1 star, superstar, one of the biggest stars of the country. What respect Mr. Rajnikant holds in Tamil Nadu, he has the same respect in Kerala. If his movie is releasing, so Kerala will shut down for 1 week, just like Rajnikant ka movie mein Tamil Nadu shut down, और आलू अर्जुन के मूवी में आंध्र प्रदेश तेलंगाना, they are Telugu superstars. Alu Arjun, and that RRR का guy is what? RRR, Ramchand. Telugu movies का superstar there. Vijay Deverakonda, some that. They are all, in fact, these Telugu superstars are currently ruling Bollywood also. But Mohanlal sir, I must tell you, this will be relatable to students of Mumbai also. Ajay Devgan did a movie called Drishyam. Drishyam was actually a Malayalam movie, and lead actor was Mr. Mohanlal. Ajay Devgan is only a cheap photocopy. Vimal. Ajay Devgan only copied the story. Actual story was Mr. Mohanlal's film. And randomly, you have subscription to any OTT platform, Prime or Netflix or Hotstar. You just in the search bar, you type Mohanlal and watch any movie randomly. without knowing the story, with just watch any movie, obviously dubbed in Hindi, because Malayalam you won't understand, with subtitles also. Well, I read, if I am watching a movie with subtitle, I'm only reading the subtitle, I'm not even watching the movie. But all the movies are dubbed in Hindi. Now, South movies are the best movies made in our country, but unfortunately, when they were dubbed in Hindi, 10-15 years ago, so silly Bollywood, they used to do what? They used to hire comedy artists to dub. So the sounds were so funny, even the good movies became comedy movies. But now, these South movie makers themselves have taken the burden that no, dubbing artists we will decide. And they are choosing people with strong voices, which is why of late you see all South movies which are dubbed in Hindi are actually getting more popularity. For example, Pushpa 2 in Hindi was dubbed by a Bollywood actor called Shreyas Talpade. A movie was made on Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Usme Sharat Kelkar karke, there is this Maharashtrian actor. He did, and because Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was from Maharashtra, so a Maharashtrian taking that accent was, much more suitable. In this regard, I have immense respect for Ranveer Singh, because he is not a Maharashtrian, but when he played the role of Peshwa Bajirao, he actually developed that Maharashtrian accent. Throughout the movie, he was talking a North Indian talking Marathi is clearly visible, but he spoke like a Maharashtrian would normally speak Marathi. That is how he developed himself for the role. So yes, Mr. Mohanlal, superstar. Is he individual? Yes, he is. Yes, he is individual. What about the faculty? Am I an individual? See, I am a married man. I don't get human treatment at home. I am always subjected to inhuman treatment at home. Animals get better treatment. But in the eyes of income tax law, I am individual. Well, income tax is not interested in my personal problems. Well, they are like, you sort it out at your home or neighbor's home. Not our problem. Not our problem. Income tax mein, you are individual. Ek second, I want to still know this. What about all the students of the class? Are you individual? Now then, to which your reaction will be, sir, but we don't have income. Okay, wait. Pay tax only when you have income. One day you will have income, no? So that day, we can't amend the law to bring you here. We have to keep you here from day one. You don't have income, income is zero, tax automatically is zero. But assuming you have income, then will you have to pay tax? For that, we will have to keep you here. And therefore, you are also falling in the definition of person. Individual, which is a part of the definition of person. Modi ji, of course, who was that? Modi ji. Is Modi ji human being? क्या लगता है आपको? What do you think? Is he human being? So he is individual. Income pe. Everyone is liable. We have to calculate entity. If he is getting salary, he has to pay tax. There may be some exemption that you don't have to pay tax on income which is exempt, but he may be having taxable income. You know who is one of the biggest investors of Indian stock markets? Any random rough idea? Any random rough idea? नहीं? मोटा भाई का नाम सुना? You know मोटा भाई? Chronology. The Home Minister of India. Do you know what was his business before he entered politics? While he entered politics, even now, he is a stock market investor. Just imagine, he must be knowing all the companies that are going to go up or down, when to buy, when to sell. No one knows better than him. Stock market is less about analysis, more about timing. You have to buy at the right time and sell at the right time. When everyone is buying, believe me, that is the best time to sell. When everyone is selling, that's the best time to buy. It's all about timing. And believe me, this CA course going forward is going to teach you anything and everything. Your financial management is over, I believe. Quite a bit you've already studied about securities, about markets, but most of it will come in advanced financial management at CFI. Valuation of securities, whether a security available in the market at 100 rupees is buyable or not, whether it is low, means below the normal price or above the market price, it is available cheap or expensive. How do you classify? All that will be taught to you in CFI and financial management. Very interesting subject. So Mota Bhai must be making stock market profits. He has to pay tax because he is also, all human beings are individuals. Is that clear? So yes, whether Modi ji or Mota Bhai, they have to pay tax. Acha, tell me one thing. What about Milani Bhabi? Milani Dadi, sorry. Is she individual? See, the question is not whether she is liable to pay tax. She will pay tax only if she has income. That also taxable income. The question is not whether she will pay tax. The question is she in the definition of person? Yes. So what if we sing for her? Zara kabhi meri. You've never heard Modi ji's sound ka songs. Last song was, both of them, it was some, artificial intelligence ka some superimposed photo, and both of them were dancing Gulabi Saadiyan. Last song that came was Gulabi Saadi. After that, it is out of social media. Achha, recently there was this, when they met at that G20 ka summit, so they were both looking into each other. Ye kya kar rahe? What are you doing? What is this? They were looking they were looking into each other's eyes, and background where music was going on. You didn't see that? Stop calling yourself. So they are all individual. See, tax will come or won't come will depend on entity. If their income is taxable or exempt, that we will learn. But we have to keep you here because you will not remain Prime Minister forever. After you retire as Prime Minister, maybe you take up some job in Reliance. Salary you will earn. Or in Adani, salary you will earn. So that is taxable. So for that we have to keep you here, no? So is Modi ji individual? So he falls in the definition of person. You understood or no? Okay, next. Those who know little bit about Rajnikant, so also should be aware, he made a movie called Robot. Yes. In the movie Robot, he created, as a scientist, he played the role of a scientist, Vasikaran, and he created a robot called Chitti. Chitti ka role also he only played as an actor, but in the movie it was a machine. It looked like a human being, eyes, nose, ears, hands, legs, everything. So is Chitti individual? No. Why? Chitti is not an, but he looked like human being. Still no. Achha, by the way, for those who have carefully followed the movie, you will know this. If you have not, I'll tell you this. By the end of the movie, the scientist incorporated human feelings in the robot. That robot had anger, love. He had all the feelings. He literally behaved like a human being. So, is he individual? No, sir. Because Chitti is not a natural person. Chitti will not come. Sir, Chitti can have income. Why keep staff? Keep Chitti. You don't have to pay. You only have to charge. You don't have to pay salary. You only have to recharge the battery. है ना? So Chitti will not come here because individual will cover only and only natural persons. So all of us fall in the first point. When we said income tax is payable by every person, your reaction was, sir, every person. All. Nahin, we are all only 0.1. Other than us, there are some more persons who are liable to pay tax. Next, HUF, Hindu Undivided Family. First time you are taught about the concept of HUF when you study 12th standard commerce. Whichever board you study. You may be from Maharashtra board, CBSE, ICSE, any other state board. 12th standard commerce across the country covers this concept of HUF, Hindu Undivided Family. In India, there is a law called Hindu Succession Act. More popularly, it is known as the Mitakshara law, but Hindu Succession Act, under which 4 generations of a Hindu family have right over the family assets. For example, if Mr. X has any asset, so the asset will be generating income. This income will go to Mr. X, but Mr. X has got children, X1, X2, X3, 3 children, son or daughter, anything, X1, X2, X3. They will also get a share of the income generated from them. In fact, X1, X2, X3 got married. See, if the daughter gets married, then she joins husband's HU. But if the sons get married, then the wife will join this HU. So the children also now have children. So X1 has got one child, 2X1, 3X1, 4X1. You will get share for all of them. You get share in family income by way of birth. Now, somewhere if you realize that his income, this brother is getting 4 parts of that income, self and 3 children, but he is getting only 1 part. He is going and telling his wife in code language, we need to get more share of the family income. How to get more share? So X2 enters the competition. It's like 2X2, 3X2, 4X2. Bro, I want more share. So 5X2. Every person born will get share by way of birth. Supposingly X3 is a daughter, so after marriage, she has left the HUF. But do you understand X1 and X1's children, X2 and X2 ka children, they all are going to get share. Bro, this is still the 3rd generation. 4th generation means great grandchildren of X. As and when to take birth, they will also get share. And in competition, no bro. Now you know. Anybody from the Marwadi community? No? I'll tell you what. In fact, by the way, it happens in all the communities. 2-3 generations before us, 2 generations before me, they used to have 10, 10, 20, 20 children. Bro, in that period, there was no Netflix, no. So the only source of time pass. 20 children they used to have. Bro, every morning they used to take in the farms, etc. Evening after coming home, they used to count. 1, 2. Yeah, it's missing it. Then they used to go again to search for the missing child. Why? Because every time one brother had children, the other brother's share was getting reduced. Their whole target was to increase share in the family assets. 4 generations of a Hindu family will get right over the family asset, and under Hindu Succession Act, the same law is followed by the following religions. In India, there is a religion called Jainism. Jains also follow Hindu Succession Act. So in a Jain family also, 4 generations will get right over the family asset. Sikhism, Sikh, Harbhajan Singh, Sikh, Sardarji, they also follow the Hindu Succession Act. In fact, their cremation is also by burning only, just like Hinduism, Jainism, Sikhism. And anybody who is follower of Buddhism, they also follow Hindu Succession Act, where any asset will be equally divided amongst 4 generations. After the 4th generation, obviously partition takes place. So, you divide that asset in the share of the number of people, you partition your estate and you divide. But if 4 generations are surviving, everyone will get share of the family asset. Everyone will get share of the family income. Hindu, Jain, Sikh and Buddhist. By the way, only 4 religions of our country follow Hindu Succession Act. Hindus, Jains, Sikhs, Buddhists. There is nothing called Parsi undivided family, Christian undivided family, Muslim undivided family. These concepts do not exist. It is only the Hindu Succession Act. By the way, just to let you know that Christianity में, Islam में, Parsis, Ratan Tata, Parsi Zoroastrians, Ratan Tata, Boman Irani, John Abraham, they don't follow this civil code. They have their own civil code. Different religion in our country. We have religion-based civil code. How many marriages you can have, how many children you can have, what will be the procedure of getting married, what will be the procedure of getting divorced, changes in our country religion by religion, because it is different civil code being followed by different people, different religions. There are talks that our government should bring something called UCC, Uniform Civil Code. Same rules for marriages, divorces, families, children, same rule. Actually, 2014, Modi ji was still learning how governments function. 19 में he was certainly going to bring about all these changes. In 14 का government also he took the bold step of demonetization and GST. In 19 का government he was going to do this. His first target was abrogation of Article 37. He did that in 2019 itself, once he got elected. Next target was Uniform Civil Code, one nation, one election. But unfortunately, COVID hit us and 2.5 years got wasted. And once we recovered from COVID, now the only target was to win the elections again. Now only 2024 was in their mind. All these revolutionary changes were not in their mind. But 2024 mein, now that they have won elections, but then there is a big trouble now that currently the central government is not as powerful as it was in the last 10 years, because they are heavily dependent. Every morning, whether he calls Italy and does Mela Babu, Mela Sona or no, he has to call Andhra Pradesh and Bihar, Mela Babu, क्योंकि Chandra Babu and Nitish Babu. I don't know whether you understand little bit of politics or no. Our central government is dependent on their support. If Chandra Babu or Nitish Babu withdraw their support, the government can collapse. So such revolutionary steps couldn't have been possible, but they are doing. Yesterday only they presented bill for one nation, one election. That all elections, whether Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, not Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, the state assemblies, that is Vidhan Sabha, the local body elections, they will all take place at the same time. And now that they have tabled the bill, they are very, very stubborn. They will get it passed also. They will bring about this. So you never know. You may see them making some hard things. And Uniform Civil Code is something that is long expected, because civil code basically contains how many marriages, what should be process of marriage, what should be process of divorce, succession, inheritance, who will get right, who will not get right, if there is a custody battle or divorce battle, so who will get the child, how much money will have to be paid under alimony. You don't have to follow that on the basis of religion. It should be uniform across the country. We'll have to wait and watch if they bring about it. But as of now, we have only Hindu, Jain, Sikh and Buddhist. There is nothing called Christian, Parsi or Muslim undivided family. What you have to understand is that when this asset will generate income, will everyone here get the share? And to get more share, Indian families have more people. Now, income tax department will have the trouble to go to every individual year to recover the tax on their respective share, because ultimately all of them are earning income, and as individuals they will pay tax. The idea, what we will do, when the whole family earns income at the family level, we will levy tax on the family itself by putting the family in the definition of person. So family will be a person liable to pay tax. Supposingly the asset has generated 10 lakh ka income, the family will pay tax on 10 lakh. After paying tax, you are left with your money. Distribute it amongst the members, and because the tax is already paid on this income, the members, when they receive, we don't want any tax from them. That is your second exempt income. You already know one exempt income. Before starting the chapter, you know one, agriculture. Now you know one more. Listen to this statement. Share of income received by member from HUF. Share of income received by member from HUF is exempt from tax because the HUF has already paid the tax. Because we have kept HUF in the definition of person. This was the doubt. Adopted child is also in the definition of child. Somewhere in our syllabus, we will learn the definition of child also. Stepchildren, adopted children are all children. If you brought this up, let me tell you, they have said child ka definition in income tax law. Child includes stepchild and adopted child, but excludes illegal child. This is written in the income tax law. Excludes child born out of an illegal marriage. Not what you are thinking, huh, bro? Control yourself. Control yourself. Okay? Under Hinduism, you are legally allowed to have one marriage if you have any child in the second marriage without legally divorcing your first spouse. So that second child is illegal child, will not fall in the definition of child. Under Islam, 4 marriages are legally allowed. So fifth before divorcing one of the 4 is going to be considered as illegal marriage. That child will not be covered. Otherwise, stepchild, adopted child will be covered. ये clear है? Everyone? हाँ. So we will earn income in the name of family. Take tax from the family by putting family in the definition here, and then later distribute the income. No need to take any tax from the members because HUF has already paid tax. Tax will be paid by the HUF. No need to take any tax from the members. Have you understood this? Fantastic. Point number 3 of what? You know what will happen throughout our syllabus? We have to go into the deep depth of any topic. Go into the depth, then come out also. And when I write the next point, you will be off. Sir, C? What C? I don't know what C is. C of what? Of the definition of person. We have to zoom in and zoom out. We zoomed into the definition of individual, then we came out. And we went in the depth of HUF. Now we have to come out. See, you have to go into the depth with me and come out with me. Going ahead is also of no use. And staying behind also is of no use. Go with me in the detail, come with me. Many a time what happens, I am going into the depth of individual or HUF. You are left behind somewhere. I go into the depth. I am coming back. You are meeting me on the way. I am like, sir, I went there and I came back. Where were you? No, sir. Now let's go to the next point together. So go with me and come with me. First point in the definition of person, individual. Second point in the definition of person, HUF, Hindu undivided family. Third point in the definition of person. If you are here, that means you have to pay tax. Obviously, if you have income. See, if you don't have income, there is no question of paying tax. So, whatever we are learning here, we are assuming that you have income. Third, an assessee called company. Company. In fact, companies are the biggest taxpayers of the country. So, you can be Mr. X, Mr. Y, you have to pay tax. You are a family, you have to pay tax. But if you are TCS Limited, Infosys Limited, Reliance Industries Limited, Adani Enterprises Limited, Adani Power Limited, Adani Ports Limited, every limited company will also have to pay tax, obviously, if they have earned income. So every company in our country is liable to pay income tax. You understand this? And they are more popular here because please understand, we will have limited income. We will pay tax only on our income. Companies will have more income because they are using shareholders' money and scaling up their business. And also understand one more thing. Mukesh Bhai, you know which Mukesh Bhai? Which Mukesh Bhai? Not that Mukesh, Mukesh for cancer. That guy comes from before movies. वो गुटखा खाता. Just imagine an ad before a movie in a cinema hall is saying don't eat gutka. Mukesh has cancer and he died of cancer. And then you are watching an Ajay Devgan movie, he is promoting Vimal Zubaki. Irony, bro, irony. Mukesh Bhai, I am right now talking about the Ambani, the owner of India. I hope you are aware that he is the owner of India. Bro, he repaid 5,000 crores loan of his brother. That's normal. Good brother. Plus, the mom forced him. Because generally, Indian moms force the elder one to support the younger, useless one. Okay. Younger child of Indian household is useless. We all know that. Wait. But the main point is, he repaid this loan by just deducting the pocket money of his son for one day. 5,000 crores. Bro, 1 crore का तो everyday his elephant eats खिचड़ी. अरे वो 1 तारा वाला elephant I am talking about. I am talking about that elephant. एक मोटा हाथी. People tell me that, don't do body shaming. Don't make fun of his. If you are making fun of his weight, he is making fun of your bank balance. As a child, my mother always told me that never make fun of anyone, and never make fun of anyone, otherwise God will make you like that. In terms of, looks or skin color or finance, or never make fun of anyone, otherwise God will make you like that. Since that day, I'm making fun of Mukesh bhai, and I'm challenging God, dear God, make me like that. Make me like that. A challenge hai. Mukesh bhai, one evening after dinner, he wanted to go for a walk. So he went for a walk and came back. Then his wife asked, where did you go for a walk? He's like, you're nearby till the mall. Oh, mall? What did you buy for me? Mall. Walk till the mall? Buy the mall. Bro, you buy tickets in PVR. Mukesh bhai purchased PVR. Are you aware of that? You buy medicine on a website called NetMeds. Mukesh bhai purchased NetMeds. You watch NDTV. Gautam Adani purchased NDTV. Are you aware? Oh, he is the Mukesh bhai, bro. The Mukesh bhai. So, Mukesh bhai, the individual, is separate from Reliance, the company. Mukesh bhai, the individual, will pay tax on his income here in point A. But will the company also have its own income? And this much you have studied in 12th standard commerce, that company's identity and shareholders or directors' individual legal identity is separate. The company will also have to pay tax. In fact, companies will be divided into two categories. Domestic company or a non-domestic company. A non-domestic company is a company which is not a domestic company. Wow, sir, how I wish life was so simple. I think you've studied this in law, maybe. Private company is a company which is not a public company. But then, of course, the question arises, what do you mean by domestic company? See, an Indian company is going to be considered, a company is going to be considered as a company, Indian company, if it is registered in India. If you are registered under Indian Companies Act, and this can be existing or old one. See, there used to be, I don't know whether your generation is aware, there used to be Companies Act 1956. That got deleted, and in that place we have Companies Act 2013. But there were companies already registered in the earlier law. So those companies are not liquidated just because the company law has changed. So existing companies plus newly incorporated company under the new law, are they registered in India? So they will be considered as Indian company. And of course, that means a foreign company is a company which is registered outside India. That means Indian or foreign will depend on place of registration. Registered under Indian Companies Act will be considered as Indian company, and registered under Foreign Companies Act, Google Incorporation, Apple Incorporation, Meta is the owner of Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Tesla. These are foreign companies registered in a foreign country. So Indian foreign will depend on place of registration. In CA syllabus, your segregation into Indian foreign is not important. For exam purposes, what you have to learn is the difference between domestic and non-domestic. Outside this classroom, ordinarily, now you go and ask your cousin or your uncle, it is likely that they may not even know the difference between what? Sir, Indian foreign are different. I don't have to explain that. Domestic, non-domestic are opposite words. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to teach you the difference between Indian company and domestic company. And ladies and gentlemen, they are different. I want to create an atmosphere in my classroom that every day you get to learn one new different concept about which you are never aware. So that you go home and your reaction is, wow, yeah, I got to learn something new, something different, something bigger and better today. Sir, for example, yesterday we came to know why no income tax on agriculture, not because government is lenient, but because constitutional problem. Today we will learn the difference between not Indian foreign, that is place of registration. Not domestic, non-domestic, they are opposite. In fact, non-domestic is what? Any company which is not a domestic company. Today I am going to teach you the difference between Indian and domestic. And ladies and gentlemen, they are different. Indian is not domestic, domestic is not Indian. Don't use them interchangeably. Indian company and domestic company are two different things. Indian foreign will depend on place of Indian foreign will depend on place of registration. But what is a domestic company? Because in income tax law, whatever rules they have given, for example, tax rate, they have not given for Indian company, foreign company. They have given for domestic, non-domestic. Means you knowing or not knowing Indian foreign is not so important. You have to actually know domestic and non-domestic. That is more important. Are you understanding this? So what is domestic? First, all Indian companies are domestic. Matlab, once you register your company in India, is that an Indian company? Once you register your company in India, is that an Indian company? Yes, it is automatically also a domestic company because every Indian company is also a. It is because of this defect that people outside this classroom feel that they are same. Because sir, Indian company is domestic, domestic company is Indian. No sir, there is this second thing which people outside this classroom are not aware. So that knowledge that you take home from here in today's lecture is this second point. That if you are a foreign company, that means you have registered your company outside India in a foreign country, in a foreign companies act. You can also become domestic if you make arrangement for distribution of dividend out of your income in India. If you make arrangement for distribution of dividend out of your income in India. Confused? Fantastic. Those using Apple iPhone, give me a loud cheer. Be very loud, huh? Yay! Be loud. You have to speak, bro. Those using second attempt. Those using Apple iPhone, give me a loud cheer. Arey, give. Why are you so shy? Shall I bring some dupatta to give you a ghungat or something? Give me a loud cheer, no, bro. I saw an Apple phone in your hand today. Therefore, I am, Kya nahi? I saw it. So bol. Boliye. An Apple iPhone is like Salman Khan movie. No innovation, but blind fan photo. When they are asked, no, why iPhone? Sorry, Apple is Apple. Most apps don't work. When I had to launch my app, I wanted to launch it, during the auspicious occasion of Navaratri. First day, I was waiting. The Windows app was ready. The Android app was ready. And iOS people are not giving permission to list the app on their app store. So I can't make it live. I can't make them. Navaratri was almost over. It was almost Ashtami. One day remaining. for Dasera. And they are doing police like interrogation. Whom are you going to tell your app to be for? Where is your app going to be downloaded? Who is your target audience? What will you do with the data? I mean, even police is not doing so much interrogation. And when these Apple users are asked, no, then why Apple? You're like, so my data is protected. So you work in defense that you want to protect your data? My data is protected. Most things you cannot use only in an Apple iPhone. But no, sir, the three cameras look good in my. But that three camera design is also copied from Vivo. Apple initially had only one camera, one back camera. Same is the case of Salman Khan movie, bro. You watch Wanted or Jai Ho or Dabang or randomly pick up any movie, it all looks same only. Same story, same action, same everything. Pick up any random movie. But then there are some crazy Apple fans. You can't argue with Apple fan or Salman Khan fan. So they do what? They buy all Apple products. They buy Apple ka tab, Apple ka iPhone. What else? Earpods, Apple ka watch. They buy Apple ka shares. See, in CA student life also, at least one share you can afford. You buy one share of Apple. Now, are you a shareholder of Apple? Yes. Company declared dividend. So, will you be also eligible to get dividend for one share? But will you get it? Yes. Here, there are two possibilities. Possibility one, option one. Company tells you to open an account in their country, US. And they will deposit your dividend in that local bank account. Or option two, the company is asking you, which bank you have your account? Your major, no? Which bank you have your account? Oh, bro. Sir, I use Apple as well as Android. Do phone hai. Sir, two drivers but no parking, so I don't bring. Sir, which bank? Sir, Kotak and Bank of Baroda. Bro, even I have only one account. But you know, rich people, how do you even deal with them? Kotak Bank. Which branch? Crawford Market. You must be having your account number, IFSC, etc. For fund transfer, give those details to the company Apple and they are ready to transfer your dividend in your Indian bank account. Then Apple, the company registered in a foreign country, for Indian income tax purposes will be considered as a domestic company. Check now, read the statement that we have written. Read the statement. A foreign company that makes arrangement for distribution of dividend out of their income in India. Of course, practically, these companies don't do that. They say you want dividend, open account in our country. So, Indian remains domestic and foreign remains non-domestic for all practical purposes. But theoretically, a foreign company can also become domestic if they distribute dividend in India. The foreign company will also become domestic. Taxation rules are based on not Indian foreign but domestic, non-domestic. So once registered in India, you are Indian as well as domestic. But registered outside India, you are foreign. But if you distribute dividend in India, so you can also become domestic. Sir, what is non-domestic? See if you now understand. Foreign company, no arrangement for dividend distribution in India will become non-domestic. Foreign company and no arrangement for dividend distribution in India will become non-domestic. Understood? Go check if you know any chartered accountant and he or she knows this. Because practically what happens? Foreign companies don't distribute the dividend in India. So they remain non-domestic. And only Indian companies distribute. So they remain domestic. So practically you will see Indian equal to domestic, foreign equal to non-domestic. But can a foreign also become domestic? Yes, if they distribute dividend out of income in India. Is that clear? So domestic company, by the way, I had to teach you the meaning. In the definition of person, I have written domestic as well as non-domestic. Matlab sir, in India, who is liable to pay income tax? Domestic or non-domestic? Both. Both. Because in the definition of person, both have been written. Domestic as well as. See, sir, that means are you trying to say that Apple, Google, Meta, are they supposed to pay tax in India? Sir, obviously they have income in their own country. Indian government cannot take tax on that. But is it possible that they have also earned some income in India? Yes. Now, whether it is taxable or not taxable, the answer will come in the next chapter. Next chapter is created only for this. Supposingly, next chapter says taxable. Supposingly, we don't know the answer till. You don't know the answer till now. Supposingly, the next chapter says that the income is going to be taxable. But for that, we have to keep you here, no? If we remove you from here, then next chapter will become useless. Sir, what will the next chapter give as an answer if you are not keeping them in the definition of person only? In the definition of person, we will keep everything. Tax we will take, we will not take, it will depend on next chapter. Supposingly we want to grant you any benefit, we will exempt that income. But for all definition purposes, you will remain in the definition of person. So domestic company is person, non-domestic company, both of them will fall in the definition of person. Of course, tax will come only if there is income, taxable income, which will depend on residential status. It will also depend on taxable income exempt. Understood? Now, if I go to point D, so any idea this is point D of what? Person. Person ka definition. First point, individual. Second point, HUF. Third, company. Fourth, firm. Partnership firm. And wherever in income tax law we write partnership firm, wherever we write that, it will also include LLP, that is limited liability partnerships. LLP basically has double characteristic. LLP that way is a partnership firm. It has all characteristic of partnership firm, but one feature of company. Which is that one feature? Limited liability. Income tax law has kept LLP with firm. That means any taxation law applicable to firm will include for LLP. Same. Means anything that is applicable to companies will not be applicable to LLP. For tax purposes, LLP you can say is equal to firm. LLP equal to firm, firm equal to LLP. For all taxation purposes, firm and LLP will be considered as same. So firm will include LLP. A partnership firm is basically a partnership of multiple partners. So is the case of LLP. So what is going to happen? ABC, a firm will have multiple partners. Firm will have some income, and that income is going to be distributed amongst these partners. Now income tax will have difficulty in going and collecting tax from individual partners. So idea, firm will be considered as assessee, person liable to pay tax. Are we keeping firm in the definition of person? So firm will pay tax on this income, and after paying tax on this income, when the firm will distribute the income to the partners, for the partners the income is going to be exempt because, so you said exempt and you gave the reason because the firm has already paid. I want that atmosphere in my classroom where you are able to give correct answers without me teaching you. Does not mean that I am going to skip anything. What this means is the atmosphere of the class has to be such that you are getting answers by yourself. You need to get that confidence. Why? Sir, you answered it by yourself. Why? Because you went by logic, because you went by common sense, and common sense is the biggest law. Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah. That if firm has paid tax, matlab government has received tax on this income. Yes. And if government has received tax on this income, the government does not want tax again from the partners. We are yet to start exempt income chapter. Ek second come here. We are right now doing basic concepts. Then we'll do residential status. After doing that, we'll come to exempt income. But in this chapter itself, you know three things of exempt income. One, agriculture. Two, share of profit received by member from HUF. And three, share of profit received by partner from partnership firm, because firm is kept in the definition of person. Understood this? Fantastic. Next, point E, of person. AOP BOI. Fifth point in the definition of person, AOP BOI. Association of persons or body of individuals. AOP BOI. Association of persons, body of individuals. AOP BOI. Sir, our first question is, what do you mean by this? If I have to give you meaning, an organization like company you have heard of, firm LLP you have heard of, HUF you have heard of, individual is basically you and me. Then what do you mean by AOP BOI? Meaning क्या है? A group of persons who are coming together for a common purpose or goal. Group of persons who have come together for a common purpose or, sir, no. Anything else? Okay. Example. Have you heard of an example called Rotaract Club? Anybody goes to South Mumbai's second best college HR from here? HR college, anyone? No. So y'all are from which colleges? Chopati. So you're doing law also. How do you manage? हो जाता. Junior college? Recently, I happened to go to this local college nearby called Ruparel College, which is just a few meters away from here. So ICAI ka elections were scheduled on the 6th and 7th of December, and Ruparel was my voting center. So when I entered that lane, I was like, it is such a famous college. What a thin lane. There's no place to stand also here. But the moment you enter and you have a look at the campus, it is never ending, bro. Within the campus, you need, I think, a two-wheeler to travel. What a massive college campus. I have not seen such a big college campus in Mumbai ever before. Huge it is. It took me to the other road all the way. Then within the college, I was walking. So these colleges have these clubs called Rotaract clubs, where people are working together. Common purpose can be charity. Common purpose can be something called fellowship. Fellowship is where you meet each other, you build your contacts, and these contacts are very, very useful in your professional and personal life. I'll give you one more example. There is an organization called Lions Club. Myself being a very active member, but of course, when it comes to professional commitment, then you have to leave all this and focus on your career. End of the day, because Lions Club ka context will help you if you are something in your career. So we had so many doctors in that circle. So there was one child doctor, pediatrician. There was one diabetes doctor. There was one cardiologist. So anybody unwell in my family, we used to go to that doctor. But bro, he is already successful. I have to go and pay him fees. I have to be successful and that his children come and take admission in my class. No. So those contacts are useful only when you are something. So making yourself something is first more important. But once you are something, then you become member in those organizations. That will give you the benefit of fellowship. And of course, charity also. We used to have picnics, outstation picnics. So friends ka circle, all that also. Building contacts also. Doing charity also. We used to do all those activities. Obviously, by contribution from members, by taking donation from external people. Donation money used to be used in charity. and our picnics or our functions used to be with our own contribution. As simple as that. We used to have separate fund, charity fund and members fund. Members fund contributed by members, used for members. Charity fund contributed sometimes by members, sometimes by outsiders, and used for charitable purposes. These were the common purposes, the common goals for which the organization was created. Any club, any cooperative society, any trust also. See, when you want to create a religious trust or a charitable trust, first you have to create an AOP that we will together, like a cooperative society, we will together form a society and work for the benefit of the general public. So your initial registration will be as a group of people who have come together for a common purpose or goal. Now you have to go and tell the income tax department, dear department, we are going to do some good work for the society, some charitable work for the underprivileged. Kindly register our AOP as a charitable trust. And if that registration is granted, so you start getting some tax exemption, which is taught in CA Final. We have a chapter, charitable and religious trusts. But every charitable trust has to first register as AOP. AOP. You understand? So what is association of person? Now do you realize they are getting income from so many sources? They also have to pay tax because they are kept in the definition of person. So person does not mean only you and me. You and me are only the first point. You and me, first point. Individuals, first point. HUF, company, firm, and now also AOP, BOI. You understood the meaning of AOP, BOI? Was one last thing left to be explained. Sir, if AOP, BOI means group of persons, why do you have these two names? AOP and BOI. There is some logic of these two names also. If all members are individuals, if all members are individuals, example, your Lions Club. Who are members in Lions Club? A, B, C, D, E, F. Are all of them individuals? So you can call such an organization a body of individuals. But sometimes it is possible that any of your member is not an individual, or you can say non-individual. For example, we have a club in Mumbai called NSCI, National Sports Club of India. A very, very popular club in Mumbai. Or you can take another club, Cricket Club of India, CCI. Or another club, Mumbai Cricket Association. These organizations have members A, B, C, but they also have X Limited as their member. A company has taken the club membership. We have L firm as a member. A partnership firm has taken membership in its own. Obviously, ABC, if they are members of this club, they can go and use the club ka swimming pool, gymnasium, carom, etc. X Limited is artificial person. Company cannot go. Who will go and swim? The certificate of incorporation. So memorandum of association. But for swimming, they will send their employees. We have taken corporate membership. So do we have non-individual members? They will be known as AOP. Because we can't call it a body of individuals. There are some non-individuals also. But then there is one last twist that you understand. Are individuals also persons? Are individual falling in the definition of person? So a body of individual can also be called as association of person because all of them are individuals and all individuals are person. But AOP, you can't call it BOI because there are some non-individuals also, which means every BOI is also AOP. So if you use AOP, it's a generic term, it will cover everything. BOI is a specific term, it will cover only individual members. But if you use AOP word, AOP covers everything. AOP, BOI are one and the same, just that BOI can have only individuals, BOI cannot and will not have others. ये clear है? Everyone? Fantastic. Okay. Next. Hey Bhagwan. Point F. So this is direct tax, never ending. Totally we have seven, no? We are on the sixth point. Sixth point of war. Next, local authority. Local authority. Government in our country operates at three levels: central government, state government, and then we have local government. Supposingly, you have contaminated water in your house. Water supply is contaminated. You will not be calling Modi ji like Modi ji, pani is not clean. That is not his job. Please understand. You can't even can't be calling the chief minister of the state and like CM sir, water is not clean. It is not his job. This complaint has to be filed with the local ward office of your municipal corporation. So for local authorities, we have quite a few examples. Here we are all situated in an area called Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai. There is, I don't know whether you are aware of this, MCD, Municipal Corporation of Delhi. We have Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation. They handle all the local stuff and they make crazy money. I'll give you an example of Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai. Are you aware of Kochi Municipal Corporation? है कोची म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन नहीं अरे एमजी रोड पे ऑफिस is situated at MG Road. I used to come over there to take lectures. Just after the municipal corporation office, there is a left turn which goes to an area called Edapalli. Edapalli. I used to come there for taking lectures for so many years. No, I can't take the name in the recording. You meet me after class. Because I have quit. No, had I been still working, I would have still taken the name. I have quit 2 years ago. So I can't be giving unnecessary publicity to someone whom I am not working with anymore. Lecture? No, don't worry, I'll message you. I have your number. I will message you the name. So yes, Kochi Municipal Corporation, Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai, Municipal Corporation of Delhi, they handle the local affairs. You want any shop registration license, you have to take it from them and pay them the registration fees. You want any restaurant license, to run a restaurant you need multiple licenses. Food license, drug license, serving license. If you are putting tables, you need extra license. If you have AC, you need one license for that. If you are going to put a screen, you need extra license. For serving alcohol, you need extra license. If you have a dance floor, you need extra license. If you have dance floor, then you'll have DJ also. So obviously, in the mobile speaker, you will need a license for everything that you are adding in your restaurant. And these local authorities charge fees for that. Bro, they charge money for birth as well as death certificate. They charge money for that. Crazy money. Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai, I don't know whether you are aware of that or not, is the richest municipal body in the world. Richest in the world. A lot of people tell our government that you should, attack and finish Pakistan. Bro, why to attack? You can purchase. If Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai decides right now, it is 2 o'clock, that they want to purchase Pakistan, they can purchase by evening. We don't have to wait till tomorrow morning. Why attack someone you can buy? Nothing related to what is happening in the CA coaching profession right now. No comments on that. But why attack someone you can buy? So just buy. Don't attack. Provided the seller is willing to sell. As simple as that. So these organizations are flooded with money. They get funds from everywhere for every activity. And they also have to pay. You heard me right and you heard this right. Local authorities are governments, no? You are asking me, sir, will the Prime Minister pay tax? Bro, the local authority is the government itself. Even the government has to pay tax. Every government department, I don't know whether you are aware, GST department has to file income tax return. Excise department has to file income tax return. Every government department is liable to pay tax on its profits. Profit. Against income, there will be expense also. Income tax is always on net. Always on net. Understood or no? So every local authority will have to pay income tax because it falls in the definition of person. Is that understood? Fantastic. And finally, the last point in the definition of person. Last point in the definition of person. Everyone is with me? Point G is etc. 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 End of thinking capacity. They say if you are someone called an artificial juridical person, someone called artificial juridical person, anyone who is not included above will fall here. If you have income but you are not falling in the first 6 categories, we will cover you here. This category will cover anyone who is not covered till. For example, do you remember Chitti Chitti Robo, Chitti Chitti Robo? Was Chitti individual? No, machine. So obviously Chitti is not HUF, company, firm, LLP, AOP, local authority. But can Chitti have income? The Chitti will have to pay tax. If you have income, you have to pay tax. If you are not covered in the first 6, we will cover you in the last category. Anybody having income has to pay tax. Has to pay tax. Robot, not covered in individual, will get covered here. We will not leave. Means what is this category? It will cover anyone who is not covered anywhere else. If you are not covered in the first 6, you will be covered in the last category, 7th category.
So the robot is the artificial thing is made by someone.
I'll come to that. Let me give you one more example. Then I'll explain. This question ka answer common to both examples. Okay. Out of curiosity, anybody has a pet at home? Pet. You don't look at each other. You so say no. Matlab, what are you ashamed of? What is it? Cat. What is the name of the cat? 3 cats you have. Name them again. Chiku, Virat Kohli. Second, Chibu and Chinu. Sinu. Chiku, Chibu, Sinu. 3 cats you have. I have bad news for you, man. You have Chiku, Chibu and Sinu. 2 batches ago, Jan 25 also, there was a girl who had a cat at her house. Her real name is Vanshita, but her cat's name is Chinu. I today also call her Chinu only, every time I meet her. Last batch which I just completed, May 25 batch, there was another girl called Bhumi. She has a cat called Simba. I call her Simba only. Now you will have to choose one of the names. What do I call you? Chiku, Chibu ke Sinu? What's your real name? If it was any one of the alphabets, so we would have chosen. Any nickname? Shareable nickname, because some of us have such nicknames at home that we can't even speak publicly. Bro, I am so ashamed of sharing that name with general public, which people call me by the name at my house. I can't even speak that name publicly. They have kept only such names. No, you don't react to this by saying, sir, batao. Will not tell anyone. No, I am not so friendly also. So what do I call you now? Chiku is Virat Kohli. Sinu is a very male kind of a name. So Chibu. From today you are Chibu. I will call her. Ye aisa nahi. Others will not. And by the way, if others do and she is not offended, that is between you and her. Huh? You are friends in class, you do whatever you want to with each other. In my absence also, what kind of names you call each other with. But in my presence, no one will call her, only I will call her. What? Chibu. So listen, ऐसा है that supposingly Chibu's Chibu or Chiku Chibu Sinu, any of them runs a race and wins the prize. So that pet, it can be your cat, it can be your dog, it can be any pet, will have to pay tax. Is the pet, is Chiku Chibu Sinu earning income? Yes, it is not individual, it is not natural person, it is not human being. So obviously it is not HUF company firm AOP LLP. But has it earned income? It has to pay tax. Answer to that question is common to both. I'll come to that. 1 minute. Unrelated question, because when I asked, do you have a pet at home? Only she volunteered. That also, she forced her. Bolna. If you have any such thing, to be participative in the class. No, you're not watching recorded class. There is some reason to attend live, online or offline. There is some reason to attend live so that you participate and understand things in class itself. Because believe me, CA students, when they watch recorded lectures, no, they spend 8 hours to watch 4 hours. That also at 1.5x. 4 hours ka lecture at 1.5x takes 8 hours. So be participative in class. So unrelated question. Any of the female students of the class who is married? I said don't be surprised. There are plenty of students who decide to do it late. Plus in fact final mein to I have got so many students. Nahin? So just to let you know that few years from now you will have a free pet at home. And that pet at every age, that is how you can always treat that pet free of cost. Absolutely free. You can make him do all your jobs, tasks. You can not just that, you have to tell him, hey, help, I am not earning. You earn and bring. You tell him to do all your work. You will have a free fund pet at home. All of you. Some are excited only for that. Wow, sir. Kab free ka servant we will get. Sahi hai. But that servant will be classified in point A. For you it is pet. But in income tax, considered as individual. Okay. This point will cover robot, pet, cat or dog. हाँ.
वो शादी में रेंट पे दे दे, इस पे जो इनकम रहेगी उस पे टैक्स रहेगा.
Who is getting that income? The horse or the owner? Owner है ना, तो individual. When will the horse earn money? When the horse will win the race. तो इसमें आएगा. So you have to first be clear who earned the money. 1 minute. Real name क्या था चिबू? Preeti. You have to understand that Preeti wins the income or earns the income or Chiku Chibu Singh. Who has earned that income? If she has earned the income, so she will fall in individual. But if the pet has earned income, then this point will be applicable. Is that clear? So robot or pet, they have earned income but not falling in the first 6 categories. So they will fall in the last category. You have a very valid query here. Sir. That is artificial person. Sir, it is robot. Sir, it is cat. Sir, how to collect tax from them? Is that the question? Income? Who is getting? So you are talking about expense. Where is the income? Income है? हाँ, तो income मिला. Now my question is same question. Who got the income? You or the bakra? Answer this question. No, so you will get your answer. Deposited in the account of the Bakra. So that's what my question is. Who got the income? You got the income. So you are individual. Income minus expense is the profit. But you can actually open a bank account in the name of that Bakra and deposit the check in the account of these people. Then artificial juridical person will apply. And now the question is, sir, but how to take tax from the dog, sir? If the officer will come to take tax, so we will tell the dog to bite. Officer comes, officer is asking, hey dog, this time the dog has won the income. Officer is saying, dog pay tax. Dog is like, wow. Hey, hey. How to pay tax? Nine. Sir, that question so you should ask for company also. Same question you should ask for firm also. Every artificial person. See, company, firm, HUF, they are all artificial persons. Every artificial person will have a natural person who will act as representative. HUF, the responsibility will be done by, you want to guess? Karta. Firm ka all responsibilities will be handled by partner. Company ka responsibilities will be handled by the director or the CEO or the manager. So every artificial juridical person will also have a caretaker. The robot has earned income, but there is some caretaker now. Caretaker will pay tax. The pet has earned income, deposited in the account of the pet, but the caretaker will be responsible for paying tax. If there is failure to pay tax, the caretaker will be subjected to action, interest, penalty, jail. Sir, that same question is for company also, not just the pet. Because if the company does not pay tax, we cannot arrest the memorandum. We need someone to arrest. No, we will arrest the director, not the entire board, whoever is the responsible director. In LLP Act has come in your syllabus. And Inter ke foundation, both. So you will be aware that in LLP Act there is a concept called designated partner. So in LLP that person is responsible. Whoever is the responsible person. Understood? And that answer applies for all these examples. In fact, the other artificial person also. End of the day, the conclusion is, if there is income, you have to pay tax. If you fall in any of these specific categories, individual, HUF, company, firm, then you pay tax as per the category. But if you don't fall in any of the categories, you still pay tax under artificial juridical person. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the definition of person. Income tax is payable by every person, and the definition of person covers 7 people. 1, 2, 3, start. What? Individual, HUF, company, firm including LLP, AOP, BOI, local authority, artificial juridical person. You have to learn everything. Understood the definition of person? Everyone? Fantastic. First definition of chapter 1 is hereby over. We take a break of 10 minutes and start at 2:30 sharp. Okay, welcome back after the break. Oh, theory of relativity now, Albert Einstein, that 2 hours look like 20 hours and 10 minutes look like 10 seconds. But we just felt that, sir, the break just started. And even when we thought that the break is on, by the time we could digest the fact that we have a break, the break is already over. You are still lucky. You have got 10 minutes break now. Just imagine someone who is watching the recording. I said break and I paused the video. Then I started the recording again and I am continuing the lecture. So their break was the pause. That way they don't have any break. So your life is still better. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, now that we are done with the definition of person, the next 2 concepts that we will learn together are the concepts previous year and assessment year. At least by looking at the charging section, we do understand that previous year is the year of earning income. So you will be earning your NTTI during the previous year, and assessment year is the year of calculation and payment of tax. See, you will obviously calculate your income first, then you will calculate your tax, and you'll pay only your tax. Calculate your income and tax and pay your tax. All that you will have to do in the assessment year. So earn during the previous year, pay tax in the very next year, that is the assessment year. Very clearly written in the charging section. Logical also, because if you have a financial year where you are earning income throughout the year, you cannot calculate your income at any time during the year, including 31st March, you cannot calculate. Because 31st March morning also, if you calculate, to afternoon any customer walks into your shop, wants to buy something, will that sale change your income for the year? And your calculation will change. So what to tell that customer? Sir, I've actually already calculated for this year. You come tomorrow. If someone is willing to pay you money, no. Never give any reason, excuse, or never postpone. If supposingly you give me money, you give me, sir, you take this 500, no. I will first take and then ask. Why? First take, then ask the reason. Never say no to inflow of money. Never. First take, then ask. Why? No one will give without reason. There has to be reason. First take, then ask why. So you'll take that income. Will that change your calculation? That absolutely makes no sense in calculating even on 31st March. You wait for the first day of the next year when you are here on the 1st of April. Now there cannot be any new income of this year. Whatever income will happen, it will take place in this year. Jiska calculation we will do again in the next year. But here, can we calculate income of this year? So when we are calculating, that is called assessment, and therefore this year will be referred to as the assessment year. And because the year for which we are calculating is already over, just over, that year will be called previous year. So earn income in the and pay tax in the, and therefore previous year will be the year of earning income, and assessment year will be the year of calculation and payment of tax. Or simply say payment of tax automatically means you have to first calculate. But that's not what I wanted to actually write and teach you, because if this I had to teach you, this I had covered and cleared yesterday itself. Right. I want you to understand something now, that taxation law of our country changes every year through an annual activity called budget. That means the tax rules for 22-23 will be different from 23-24, will be different from 24-25. Sir, when I am giving my exam, which law I have to study and what? An excellent question asked by one of the students after class yesterday. I was asked, sir, you are saying that your book is covering RTP of May 21, November 21, May 23, May 22. But sir, the tax law at that time and the tax law now is different. So sir, what about those questions? The questions, the answers are as per outdated law. I said, bro, why is the book not ready? If I had to give that book, it is ready, no? Printed, no? Given to previous students. No? Those answers will be amended. Questions will be changed. Answers will be changed. Answers will be amended as per the present income tax law. Lot has changed the sense because we have one crazy female who is running the affairs here. Bro, by the time I do Hutch, she brings amendment. Her amendments are faster than the speed of light. When auntie will make her resume, you know resume? We all write hobbies. She will write amendments in hobbies. A lot has changed since all those answers will be amended as per present day income tax law applicable for your exam, which is why the books will take time. In fact, last batch, January 25, that income tax law and May 25 income tax law is different. The last batch ka book also I cannot give you. If it was possible, I would have given. I am amending all those answers. And as you see, I have already completed till here. This is now, it was already going on when we started. I am spending at least 2-3 hours per day on this activity. Now this is near completion. So I just have to now complete these two and one more, of course. Gen 25 RTP and MCQs. Very soon you will get this book also. Very soon. Because I have to amend all the answers as per the present day income tax law. I cannot give you outdated questions and answers. I have seen a bad habit of students that I have covered everything here. Still, for their own happiness, they actually go and study from ICAI study material. Appreciated. Excellent job. You should do that. Student goes to ICAI study material, goes to ICAI ka website, downloads these articles, and then messages me, sir, the answers are not matching, sir. Then I tell the student, you are coming or I come? You come, take 2 slabs and go back. If I will come, you will have to give traveling charges also. How will the answers match? If the answers were matching, then I did not have to type, no. Answers are being changed and you have to study your exam answers. All answers are being modified. So now a big question arises, sir. The tax law applicable at that time or this time is different from May 25. Bro, Jan 25 tax law is different from May 25. But yes, students giving September 25, Jan 26 will be lucky. That way. You know why? Even before I start teaching them, they will get both books in their hand. Because your taxation law is same in September and Jan. New budget will apply in May 26. In 1 year, same budget applies. New year, new budget, new taxation law. So this PYAY is not for this explanation. This you had already understood yesterday. You already understood 1 year you earn, next year you calculate. Again earn, next year you calculate. When you are earning, you are only earning, not doing anything. When you are calculating, you are doing assessment. So that is called assessment year. And for which year you are doing, the year which got over. Therefore that year is called previous. That is not what I want to explain. My explanation is about, sir, when I am giving my exam, May 25, September 25 or Jan 26, I have to learn the income tax law of which PY, which AY, which budget, which latest income tax law. Because please understand, every year budget comes on 1st February. In election year, there is one budget given by outgoing government and one budget given by new government. And this is that rare year. This happens once in 5 years. Normally by the month of December, all books are ready. All books are ready in July, August only. But this year, the new budget came on 23rd of July, after the new government was elected. And that budget ka amendments have to be incorporated. I have 7 books. Budget comes in February. By 31st March, the budget is accepted by the parliament. From 1st April, I start working. And by June, all 7 books are done. Maximum July, August. This year, I started the books on 1st August. Because I had to incorporate these amendments. And out of 7 books, till now only 3 are complete. Now 4th inter ka book is near completion and one of the final ka books is also near completion. So 5. Still after this, I have 2 books of CA final to be made. Because I am running at least 4-5 months late. But there is one more twist in this story. Before you give your attempt in May 25, there will be one more budget in February 25. So that way, if you see the last latest budget that just came before your exam is the February budget. So we have to study last Feb or next Feb or July. This question I will answer here. Today, you will also learn and go that which budget is applicable budget for my exam. Because when a budget brings amendments in the taxation law, a CA student is not interested in learning the amendments. A CA student का first question is, sir, is it applicable for my exam? So let us understand that. Are we aware that India follows financial year system and not calendar year system? In India, year starts from 1st April and ends on 31st of March. In India, the year will start on 1st of April and end on 31st of March. Are you aware? You are aware. That means we don't calculate our income from January to December. We don't follow the system or concept of calendar year. We calculate income from 1st April to 31st of March. When you are asked in finance, this is income of which year? You can never say 16, 17, 18, 19 or 20 or 21. You have to say 16, 17, 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20. For example, if I ask you financial year 2021, so financial year 2021 started on 1st April 20 and ended on 31st March 21. If I ask you financial year 22-23, it started on 1st April 22 and ended on 31st March 23. Financial year 24-25 started on 1st April 24, ended on 31st March, or let's do one more year in between. 23-24, 1st April 23, 31st March 24. Financial year, the ongoing year, 24-25 started on 1st April 24, end on. So by the way, you will give your exam in May 25. Do you understand? May 25 will fall here. 1st April 25, 31st March. Do you agree and understand? After today, you will stop talking in calendar year language. I will explain how. What's your name? Aarti. What is your birthday? When is your birthday? 22nd September. Do you know it is equinox? Equinox नहीं पता? Day and night both are 12 hours. नहीं, that is July. June में है क्या September? I think it's in June. ये भाड़ में क्या? We are not learning geography here. 22nd September. अच्छा, by the way, ऐसा I don't know why, but some have said that when you are talking to girls or females, you don't ask their age. See, when I am talking to a student now, I don't see the gender, boy or girl. मेरे लिए every student is like my own child. So there is no offense in telling the year also. 2000. So which year? If I am actually, I was not interested in the date. I was interested in the year. Year of birth. Wrong answer. Your answer should be 3-4. From today, you will not say my year of birth was 2003 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 2. No, it was 3-4. Year of birth. But you tell me the full date. 23rd May 2006. So your answer should be 6-7. 30th May 2006. So 6-7. Actually, by the way, anybody here born in Jan, Feb, March? 24th Feb 2004. 8 March 2003.
27 Jan 2006.
These are the most confusing months, huh?
28 Jan 2004.
So we have 2 Jan, 1 Feb, 1 March. You all be careful. When it is January 2004, bola na? You said 6. January 2004 is not 4-5. It is 3-4. January 2006 is not 6-7. It is 5-6. March 2003 is not 3-4. It is 2-3. February 2004 is not 4, 5. It is Jan, Feb, March are the confusing months. April to December, the calendar year is the start of financial year. But Jan to March, ka calendar year is the end of the financial year. Be very careful. And from today onwards, stop talking in calendar year. Never say this happened in 2004, this happened in 2006, or I happened in 2006. No, you happened in 5, 6 or 6, 7. Sir, 2003, 9, 4, 9, 2, 3 or 3, 4. Are you understanding this? This was September 2003 and February 2004. September 2003 and February 2004 are like good 6, 7 months away from each other. Bro, same year. Check. September 2003 and February 2004, same year. Both are 3, 4. You understanding this? Everyone, from today you'll talk in financial year language. In India, we don't calculate income from January to December. We will calculate income from April to March. Is that clear? That means I will earn income in 22-23 and calculate and pay tax in 23-24. Everyone understands this? I will earn income in 23-24, calculate in 24-25. Right now, the year which is going on, we are in December 24. Right now, we are focusing on the earning process. At the same time, we are calculating for 23-24. So, in 24-25, we are earning for 24-25 and calculating for 23-24. Soon, when March will come, this year will get over. We will now calculate for 24-25 while we are stated or sitting in 25-26. At the same time, we will also earn in 25-26, which we will calculate the year after that. And the taxation law of these years changes. The taxation law applicable year is always going to be different. Of course, because we are calculating this year will be considered as assessment year and the year which just got over for which we are calculating will be previous year. Now the question is, sir, we have understood two things. One, that the taxation law applicable to these years as a set will change. It changes every year. And two, we don't have to learn all the laws. So, sir, the question is, we have to go and learn which taxation law. And how does this taxation law change on a year-on-year basis? What is that thing? This is general knowledge. This is very important. If you have this knowledge, so you will be able to approach your exam in a more effective manner. Every year in our country, on the 1st of February, there is an activity called budget. Every year on the 1st of February, there is an activity called the finance budget. Achha, by the way, this is an annual process. However, if it is an election year, example 2024, so there will be two budgets. Like always, there will be 1st February budget, which will be known as interim. Interim word itself means trial budget, temporary budget. So why is this required? Please understand that India goes into elections somewhere in the month of April and May. The results are out by the end of May. Sometimes it is June. New government formation, new prime minister selection, it takes some time. Now, when the last budget was introduced, last time budget came in 2023, before this budget. So that 2023 का budget में finance minister comes to the parliament and tells the parliament, dear parliament, please permit me to use government money for the next 1 year. And the government spends money because the parliament permitted. But the permission was only till 31st March. The moment 31st March is over, the government cannot spend any money. because they don't have permission. So for that, they bring interim budget that till the time new government is not formed, kindly allow us to spend government money, because we have to pay the salaries of our employees, we have to pay rent, electricity, whatever government ka commitments are there. We have borrowed funds from any international organization, so we have to make the repayments on time. Kindly allow us to use the funds for this trial temporary period from this budget date till the date of formation of new government. After that, new government will come and present its own budget, and from that day till the end of the year, you grant separate permission. This happens once in 5 years. That is the year of election. So interim budget is temporary permission, and then finally there is going to be a final budget after new government formation, which this year took place on 23rd July 2024. This is a date that is going to affect a lot of things that you study in your syllabus. 23rd July 24. So this year we have two budgets. But of course, next year there will again be only one budget. Every year, every 4 years, there is only one budget. 5th year, we get two budget. Year of election, one budget by outgoing government for a temporary period and one budget by the new government for the remaining period. You all are a little unlucky that you all are having exam just after election. You know this, you can go and fight at home now, because either they were 1 year too early or 1 year too late. Had they been 1 year late, so you had only one budget to study, or 1 year early, so then also only one budget. But election year ka students have to study two budgets. I'll explain how this works. Okay. Supposingly financial year 22-23. Government wants to spend public money in this year for various schemes, health, education, defense, etc. So government will bring a budget year. Is this 1st February 22? This budget government will bring for this year. And in this budget, government will give all the taxation laws of this year. Means 20-23 ka applicable taxation law will be announced in 22 ka budget. But obviously, right now while the year is going on, I will only focus on earning. Calculation I will do in the next year 23-20. Means 22 budget will be for this year for earning purposes and this year for calculation purposes. Means 22 ka budget is for this PY, this AY. Do you understand? Means budget will come in 2022, earned during 22-23, and on the basis of this budget, calculate in 23-24. Let's take the cycle a little ahead. Will there be one more budget here? 1st February again. The budget will come for 23-24, but we will do our calculations in 24-25. Now 24 happened to be an election year. So here we had the interim budget, a trial budget for a trial period. Then again on 23rd July, we had a budget for the remaining period. But all these calculations will take place in 25-26. Achha, by the way, in February will we have one more budget? That budget will be the law applicable for 25-26, where we'll do the calculation in 26-27. Means, if you understand, this budget is for this PY and this AY. This budget is for this PY, this AY. This budget and the final budget, because this year there are two budgets, are applicable in this year and calculation will happen this year. Are you understanding the cycle? So first a budget will come. It will apply to the upcoming year, except election year, where the upcoming year is a temporary year and new budget will come for the remaining part of the year. Normally, full year ka budget comes before year starts. But in election year, the budget before the year starts is a temporary budget, and the budget after the government is formed is the final budget for the remaining period. Next year again, there will be a budget in 25 that will apply for full year 25-26. So every budget applies to the next coming year, and we do the calculation even 1 year after that. Budget will come, then PY will start, PY will get over, then EY will start. This is the sequence. Budget, then PY, then EY. Budget comes in February, PY starts in April, ends in March and new April assessment year starts. Just before that, one more February gone. So the assessment year now is PY for that budget. This is the cycle. At the same time, you should also be aware that everything spoken in the budget, you should know this. This is very important general knowledge for a CA student, that everything spoken in the budget is not the final law. Everything spoken in the budget is not final. This is going to undergo change. नीलेश कुठे तो एसी मैंने ना बोला था, किसी ने चेंज किया इधर से. I told you to switch off one AC, I think, which you have already. The second AC I told you not to touch. Please understand, you are only sitting and enjoying. I know it is winter. You carry extra piece of cover for extra, and we have enough space. You can leave your jackets and sweaters behind and go and come back next day. But please understand, someone who is speaking continuously, no, the body generates so much heat, which is not, goes beyond tolerable limits. इसका आपने कर दिया ना टेम्परेचर, नहीं कि चेंज किया किसी ने. अगर 18 पे होता तो इतना गर्म नहीं होता. ठीक है, थैंक यू. It is very difficult, I am telling you. Okay. So please don't touch the. You don't touch the remote. You have any problem, so you talk to the. You don't talk to them also. You end up convincing them to give you the remote. You come and talk to me. Okay. Please don't touch. Because believe me, when we are talking continuously, the heat generated by the body is so massive that it goes, even in this season, it goes beyond our control. I literally have sweating in AC rooms also. हाँ, तो focus करो. Everything spoken in the budget is not the final applicable law. Whatever is spoken in the budget is only a proposal. These are only proposals. They will undergo changes. If you ever watch the finance minister talking in the parliament, if you ever watch any budget speech, you'll often see finance minister saying, I propose to introduce this. I propose to introduce that. Because finance minister does not have power alone. The budget speech is only creating something called proposals. Once she finishes, I refer to her as she because right now it is she, and for the next few years it is going to be she. Once she finishes, the last line you'll always hear saying, with these words, I conclude the annual budget. That means I have completed talking. Now, all the members of the parliament kindly give your suggestions. She cannot make the rule by herself. Members have to give suggestions. And therefore, we call that it is the finance bill. Bill hai bill. A bill means proposals by a member of parliament where everyone will discuss and finally it will be converted into a law. It is only right now a finance bill. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, whatever is spoken here, by the time it becomes final, many a times you see changes. Just because something is spoken in the budget does not mean it will be the final applicable law. Once upon a time, there used to be massive changes in the budget speech and the final law because of the suggestions given by the members. But currently, the situation, political situation of the country is such that supposedly auntie is speaking. By the way, auntie is only soft target. She is only acting on the instruction of her bosses, the two most powerful people in the country. She is acting on their instruction. See, just imagine if someone tells you, you want to be finance minister. Say yes or say no. Yes, but you will have to do everything that we say. You are our employee. You can go and tell the whole world that I am the finance minister of the largest democracy in the world. I am the finance minister of the country with the highest population in the world. You will have your Z plus security, you will have all the perquisites, all the benefits, and you'll have your salary, everything, etc. But decisions will be as per what we say. So we will take nonsense decisions and you will be responsible. You want the job, you are saying no. Finance minister ka job is a very lucrative job. She took it. So she is basically the soft target. So all nonsense proposals given by her, she speaks. Now members sitting in the parliament, especially the educated ones, actually understand that whatever is being spoken is wrong. So they have the right to give their protest and suggestions. So when she finishes talking, she says, anybody wants to say anything? You want to say something, but do you know who is sitting next to her? Mota bhai. He is keeping a track. You want to give suggestion? Huh? Huh? Suggestion? Anybody wants to give suggestion? And then he says, मैं किसी को डांटता नहीं हूं, मेरी सिर्फ आवाज तेज है. He says that, no? You've seen that video of Mota bhai? जान दे देंगे इसके लिए, जान दे देंगे. You've seen that video? When he was discussing the Jammu Kashmir reorganization bill, when Article 370 was abrogated and Kashmir was divided into two union territories, Ladakh and Kashmir. You've seen that speech of Mota bhai? क्या बात कर रहे हैं? जान दे देंगे, जान दे देंगे. Then he says, I don't get angry. My voice is only like that. Bro, today parliament mein members can't give suggestions. Otherwise, Mota bhai will give bamboo. You understand bamboo? In Maharashtra, we call it pokal bamboo. Huh. Don't explain the meaning. Meaning she's explaining. Last batch mein there was a CA final student attending online. I said in class pokal bamboo. She actually typed on the chat box, sir, pokal means hollow. I said, bro, I know Marathi. Don't explain. Bamboo is bamboo. And Mota bhai will hit you with the bro. So these days, members of parliament unfortunately cannot give good suggestions also. So many times you see most things spoken in the budget become final, but still there are stages and some changes can and will always take place. Right now we are discussing the bill. Supposingly Lok Sabha has finished discussion, so Lok Sabha will approve the bill and send it to Rajya Sabha. Then Rajya Sabha ka members will discuss. Now this government has got enough majority in Rajya Sabha also. नहीं तो earlier what used to happen, bill passed by Lok Sabha used to be going to Rajya Sabha, and Rajya Sabha did not like the proposal, they used to send it back to Lok Sabha for the changes. But now Lok Sabha also easily passes the bill because they have majority, only their party ka people are sitting there. Rajya Sabha also passes the bill. Finally, the bill goes to one person in our country who is created only to felicitate others. President of India. President of India has to give stamp to the bill. We say that the bill was assented by the President of India. Finally, the bill becomes act. And this is not just for the finance bill. Any bill. I don't know whether you have seen the movie Article 370. When Article 370 was being removed, abrogated, cancelled, Parliament they had to present the bill. Parliament had to pass the bill, but the bill had to go to the President. Then only it can become act. Very smartly, the Prime Minister went and first took the sign of the President already, even before presenting the bill in the Parliament. So presenting in the Parliament was a formality. Again, Lok Sabha mein they had majority. Their worry was Rajya Sabha. So they took the opposition by surprise by bringing the bill first in the Rajya Sabha and got it cleared. They did not have majority, but there were other political parties who were in support of this activity. The Prime Minister spoke to them and got the bill cleared. And then Lok Sabha was a cakewalk for them. President ka stamp they had already taken. This is how the bill became an act. And final law is only after it becomes act. That means, if you now understand that while it is only a budget, these are only proposals, it gets legal recognition only and only after it becomes act. So when it is presented here in February, It is only a finance bill. It has to undergo the entire process and it will become an applicable law for this year only after stamp of the president. Then we can say the Finance Act is now enacted, which will be applicable for PY 22-23 and calculation will be done in AY 23-24. You understand? That means if we come back here, Finance Act 22. Now you will understand. Presented on 1st Feb 22. When presented, it was a bill, underwent all the stages, finally became Act, and therefore we call it FA 22, the Finance Act of 22, which will be applicable for the previous year 22-23 and assessment year 23-24. Correct? Finance Act of 23 was presented on 1st Feb 23, applicable for PY 23-24 and the calculation will be done in AY 24-25. Now here we have two budgets. One was on 1st February and second was on 23rd July. Part of a year, 1st February budget will apply, remaining part 23rd July budget will apply. But it will apply for the full year 24-25 and calculation we will sit and do when? 25-26. Before your exam, one more budget will come, will be presented in February, will undergo the stages and become the Finance Act. Then we will call it the Finance Act of 2025, which will apply for PY, and for that we will do calculation in AY. You understand the stages now? Budget PY, AY, budget PY, AY. Election year mein two budgets, every other year one budget. Is that clear? Now we can come to the question, sir. All these budgets have changed the taxation law. So which budget we have to study and go for our exam? You understand the question? For my exam, sir, I have to study which of these budgets? Fantastic. What I am now going to tell you will apply not just for CA inter exam, but also for CA final exam, but also for company secretary exam, CMA exam, even BCom exams follow this system. You have to first identify your attempt. Everyone ready with their attempt in mind? And that attempt falls in which year? If you say 25 now, no, I will drop you home. Very easy, charges bhi nahi. Because 2 minutes walking from your house. I will drop you home. I will make you drive. I will sit behind. और पूरा रास्ते मारते मारते है. You want me to drop you home? No? You want me to bring you to class in the morning? Chale sir. At 11:15, wait at the Shiv temple. Pata? Shiv Hanuman temple next to Deepak Jyoti Towers. He is lying. He is not saying it. Kala Chowk. You also say that. Either. Where? Acha, Abhyudanagar. You can wait there. 11:30, 11:15. I'll pick you up. But point is that I'll hit you all throughout the way. If you say 2025. And bro, you don't tell me that, sir, to Dongri lene ko aa sakte ho. No, I don't mind. I'll come to take you. But I will hit you all the way. If you say 2025 is my year of exam. No, it is 25-26. Everyone is clear? 25-26. Now, please understand, when you are writing the exam, is 25-26 going on? Somewhere here in the May attempt or the September attempt, or in fact the Jan 26 attempt also is this year going on. If this year is going on, you can't calculate income. Please understand. Ongoing year ka you can't calculate. Maximum you can calculate is last year, no? And that means the year in which you give your exam is your AY. So anybody giving exam in May 25 has to study AY 25-26. Means PY 24-25. Means budget. Oh God, two budgets. Once in 5 years. This is that budget that will apply for any student who has given May 25. Suppose English student is giving September 25. You guys will go clear in May 25 with rank flying colors. Suppose English student of any of the neighboring buildings giving attempt in September 25. Is it still 25-26? So you can't calculate for 25-26. You will have to calculate for 24-25. Same. 25-26 becomes your AY and 24-25 becomes your PY. Supposingly Jan 26 is still your same year. In fact, in CA final, it is May and November same attempt. Same budget because same year. But the moment the new May comes, has the year changed. Supposingly anybody is giving May 26. Now the year which is going on is 26-27. That means the AY will be 26-27 and the PY will be. Means the budget that will come in February, the last budget before your exam is not applicable for your exam. February 25 budget will apply for May 26 people. Even in final, for example, final CA students have May and November 25. They have to study this budget only. But if their attempt is May 26, November 26, they have to study the February budget. May 26, September 26, Jan 27. This next year ka budget will apply. For your exam, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you have to study and go. The Finance Act of 24. Oh bro, bad news. This is Anuradha. You know Anuradha? Ek ka double. This is, you have to study, no problem. For those who don't know Anuradha, it is in any case only a meme. By the way, I must tell you that Hera Fairy and Fir Hera Fairy are basically remake of a 1988 or 89 ka Malayalam movie Ramji Rao Calling. You didn't know this? Hera Fairy is a remake of a Malayalam movie. Most good Bollywood movies are actually remake of South Indian movies. Okay. You have to learn two budgets for your exam. 1st February budget and 23rd July ka budget. Good news is there that 1st February ka budget did not bring about any significant change because government also knew that we are outgoing government. We will bring proper changes after winning elections. So they did not do much in that budget. Major changes that they brought or they wanted to bring, they have done everything in 23rd July ka budget. This is the budget that you have to study and go. You understand that students who are giving January 25 exam are actually giving the exam here. So they have to study this budget and go for their exam. And now you understand that why I can't give you last year ka book also. Otherwise their books were already given, no? Why I can't give their books? In fact, if you observe, the only thing that is not ready are these three articles. May, September and January. I can simply pick them up and add them in the book. No, I can't. Their answers also I will have to change because the printed answers are as per 2023 budget and we have to amend them as per 2024 budget. You understood or no? So ladies and gentlemen, after today, every time I ask you, what is the applicable budget for your exam? 24-25 nahi. Finance Act of budget. Which is the applicable Finance Act for your exam? Finance Act of 2024. The applicable previous year for your exam. Previous year 24-25. The applicable assessment year for your exam. Assessment year 25-26. Let's be clear. Therefore, with a conclusion, if your exam is if your exam is May 25, September 25, or Jan 26, you have to study Finance Act of 24, the applicable law for PY 24-25, and the applicable law for assessment year 25-26. Sir, why do you say applicable law? Ultimately, Income Tax Act is the applicable law. No. Why do you say applicable law? Because the budget, which starts from here and finishes here, in any case, the budget as introduced is of no legal relevance. It has got legal significance only after becoming Finance Act. How does this budget have an effect or impact on our life? Is the last thing that I have to make you understand here. Have you all understood which budget we have to study and go? How does this budget affect our life is the last thing that we study here. Once we study this, our first chapter will get over. You must know this, that every time a budget is announced, every finance act, of course, now you also know you have to study which finance act. Which finance act? 24. Applicable PY? Applicable AY? Believe me, all the examples also that I will give you now will be based on that AY. Matlab, supposingly I have to tell you salary income. So I will say Mr. X has earned the following incomes during 24-25. Calculate the income for AY 25-26. Pick up any random question in the book. The book will say calculate for AY 25-26. Calculate for AY 25-26. There are some chapters which have undergone changes in the budget. Those answers I have to modify. There are some chapters in which there has been no change. Same as last year. I still have to change those questions and answers. Guess karo what I have to change? The year. The last year's book said PY 23-24, AY 24-25. But now my books will say PY 24-25, AY. And I have to change even those questions where there is no amendment. And therefore, every new year study material will take some time. But the best things do take time. And supposingly I give you the book today itself, you and me both know you're not going to solve. So by the time you are in a position to solve, the book will be ready. In fact, you have got that way no authority to ask also. The batch that got completed, those students are now revising the subject. If they ask, sir, when will we get the book? It is still understandable because we want to practice. Sir, what will you practice? You don't know anything in income tax. This is only the second lecture. Just to remind you, we are only in our second lecture. So it will take some time, and by that time it will be ready. Every budget starts with budget, but end it becomes Finance Act. Brings two things in our income tax, or bring two things in our economy. One, it will give us details of government income and expenditure. The first part of the budget speech is always this, that for the upcoming year, because one thing we all understand that every budget is for the upcoming year. You have the brain to understand that when a budget is coming here, it can't be a budget for this year. No, the year is almost over. Every budget we have to make first. No, the budget will come for the upcoming year. In the upcoming year, the government plans to collect tax revenue in the form of direct taxes, these many thousand crores, indirect taxes, these many thousand crores. With this money, what will we do? We will make 100 smart cities. We will open 10,000 schools. We will make bridges. We will give money to defense. We will create something called the bullet train. Government gives its proposals and requests parliament to agree to those proposals, so that once passed by the parliament, government can spend that money. An election year, they have to do it twice: outgoing government for temporary period and new government for the remaining period. Traditionally and historically, this part of the budget speech used to last for about 1 hour. And after this part of the budget speech used to get over, every finance minister, you will hear saying this: Honorable Speaker. Speaker is the head of the parliament. He is the person responsible for the code of conduct in the parliament. I will now present my tax proposals. This is part 2 of the budget speech. Part 1 is government income and expenditure. Part 2 is tax proposal. The changes that I propose to bring about in the existing taxation law of the country. That is called part 2. Now, earlier finance ministers, they used to do what? They used to, everyone starts, this is part 1. They start with this. Okay? 11 o'clock, finance, all fixed timing, parliament, decorum, code of conduct, budget speech will start at 11 o'clock. Whenever it is 1st of February, budget day, morning ka session, I don't keep any lecture. I am sitting with a notebook and a pen and I am taking down all the proposals. But I am not interested in this part. By the way, you also understand this part. Government is spending 2000 crores for creating smart cities. You know how many zeros also in that? No. See, bro, total income is not 2000 also. We are talking about 2000 crores. You are not interested in that particular part. This is irrelevant for us. You understand very simply that this is what we are interested in. I'll come to that. So I used to sit with a notebook and pen. First part of the budget speech used to get over in about 1 hour. At 12 o'clock, budget proposals used to start. Budget proposals means tax proposals used to last for about 15-20 minutes. While the finance minister is talking, I'm also writing, typing on my keyboard or my mobile, creating a message on proposals and shooting those messages to my broadcast list. And my broadcast list is eagerly waiting for my analysis because I analyze every statement in simple language, which a layman who is not from CA background can understand. So, but by 12:15, 12:20, the proposal used to get over. 12:30, 12:35, I used to shoot my message. Then all my broadcast list of people used to forward those messages by adding their names, some of them. And some of them used to forward as it is. By 12:45, my mom used to serve me lunch. Story over. Then one day auntie came. Like everyone, she starts speaking at 11. Ideal time to finish part 1 is 1 hour. Start the second part which we are interested in. By 12, auntie talks. Then she talks more. Then she keeps talking. She talks and talks and talks and talks. Believe me, there have been cases where part 1 of the budget speech has gone till 1 o'clock. Usual lunch time is about 12:30, 12:30, 12:35. My mother always will come and ask me, food? And I always used to say yes. And this time she asked me, after auntie, she asked me, not done as yet? I said, not started as yet. Sometimes she started tax proposals after 1:15. So let's accept the fact she talks too much. Yeah, Bhagwan. Too much. But all that is irrelevant. Finally, when she speaks this line, I will now present my tax proposal. I'm like, yes, ready. Two things will come, which will directly affect your study. And we will study the proposals brought in the 23rd July ka budget. Interim budget mein there wasn't any proposal only related to income tax. So our focus is 23rd July. Two proposals. One, the tax rates that will be applicable. Ladies and gentlemen, one more big piece of knowledge and information you are going to take home today. Yeah, income tax rates. Once you calculate income, you have to apply those rates. No, are not given in the Income Tax Act. Income tax ka rates are given in the annual budget. Income tax ka rates are given in the annual budget. So, this budget will tell us what will be tax rate of this year. Bro, but we don't have to pay right now. Right now, focus on earning. Once the year gets over, when you go and sit in the assessment year, you have to use the tax rates that were announced in this budget. So, budget of 22 will give tax rates of 22, 23. But that calculation you have to do in. So, now we focus on our exam ka budget. We have to study which year ka budget? 24 ka budget. Because we will be calculating here in our exam. So 24 का budget gave us tax rates of 24-25. So PY 24-25, where we will calculate in our exam scheduled in AY 25-26. Tax rates are not given in Income Tax Act. Tax rates are given every year. Tax rates change every year. So chapter number 12, tax rates. We will learn the rates that are given by 24 ka budget. Obviously, were there tax rates given in 23 budget, 22 budget also? And before your exam, will there be tax rates given by 25 budget also? Ignore all of them. Ignore all of them. Ignore all of them. You have to learn only one budget. And second, every budget will bring amendments. Amendment means a change in a taxation section. It can be income tax ka change or GST ka change. Obviously, I will do the income tax part. It can be adding a new section or a chapter, modifying an existing section, or deleting an existing section. Amendments will be brought. And in the auntie era, one more feature of the auntie era, believe me, she is adding sections, then adding more sections, then adding more and more and more sections. Not deleting. With this, the overall quantum that we have to study is continuously increasing. There was a time when, believe me, I have completed CA final batches in 2 months flat. I remember the date as before auntie became finance minister. 10th September 2018, I started a CA final batch, and 10th November 2018, I completed that batch. 12th November, I started the second batch. 11th was a Sunday. Sunday, I don't take it. Monday to Saturday, 6 days a week, morning 7 to 10, because they have articleship. We can take only morning lectures. 2 months flat. Today, I take more than 3 months to complete a CA final batch. Schedule is same, Monday to Saturday, 3 hours. Because she has continuously increased. Everything has increased. Complications have increased. Quantity to teach has increased. Data overall, number of questions that I have to do, editing work, number of books, that everything except my salary, no, believe me, has increased. My payment, they are not increasing. So you'll sit with yourself, amongst have a discussion when exactly we have to go and protest. We will choose a date and time for protest. When do you want to do it? Today only? अरे चलो चलो मतलब now नहीं, after class नहीं, after class up. Eat like there is never no tomorrow. All the food will get over today itself. Some were so busy in eating that they actually decided to wash their hands after the next teacher started the lecture. Hey Bhagwan. So listen. A lot of chapters will undergo amendments, and auntie ka bad news is that she is only auntie because English generic term. English is the language of the subject. The law is written in English, and so we say auntie. Otherwise, you can locally customize and say tai or chechi or akka, or you can customize the way you are talking about her. But generic term auntie. Auntie has brought too many changes. Auntie has brought changes almost everywhere, and therefore every chapter will teach us some amendment. That means this part brought by the 2024 budget, I am going to be teaching you chapter wise. While I am teaching the chapter, I will be doing a section, and in the section I will tell you that this amendment has been introduced by auntie. You understand the short form WEF? With effect from, the short form, with effect from assessment year 25-26. This amendment has been introduced with effect from 25-26. With effect from what, bro? 25-26. In every chapter I will tell you. And of course, this is to our chapter 12, tax rates. So while doing the chapter, we already know that the rates are not there in Income Tax Act. They have been announced by the latest budget. We are learning the latest budget. Latest does not include 25 because that is applicable for the next year. So this part of the budget we have to study. But sir, this comes in every budget. Tax rates and amendments come in every budget. We have to learn which budget? The budget of 24 PY 24-25 and AY 25-26. And after today, multiple times I will ask you, no, every time you will have to answer. Which is the applicable budget for your exam? 24. You can say budget or finance act because it starts with budget but ends at finance act. Which is the applicable PY for your exam? 24-25. And which is the applicable AY for your exam? 25-26. Is that understood? Ladies and gentlemen, with this we finish what I wanted to teach you about PYAY. See, I was not interested in teaching that previous year we earn income and assessment year we calculate. What is more important is, sir, for my exam, which PY, which is 24-25 and AY 25-26. With this, I finished PYAY person. With this, I finished 3 parts of charging section. With this, ladies and gentlemen, I also conclude my first chapter, that is basic concepts. First chapter, lots of introduction, but for exam purposes, you have to take home 3 things. Definition of person, PY and AY. Income tax is payable by every person. 7 people fall in the definition of person. They are individual, LL, including LLP, AOPB, local authority, artificial juridical. Any of them having income will have to pay tax. And the second thing, applicable finance act for my exam 24, PY for my exam 24-25, AY for my exam. With this, ladies and gentlemen, we can say that we have completed and concluded our first chapter, that is basic concepts. And you go and observe the charging section. Income tax is payable by every person. Person done in each assessment year. Assessment year done. Earned during the previous year. Previous year done. So we are left with, see, three things are over. 3 things are left. Calculation of income and calculation of tax. We have by now understood that we have 12 chapters only on this. But before that, we have to go and learn the effect of the last line, that our income and tax calculation will depend on residential status and scope of total income. This, ladies and gentlemen, happens to be our second chapter, and I think you understand that 4 situations were put before us. Indian earning in India, foreigner earning outside India. We did not discuss also those situations. But the 2 in-between situations, intermediary situations, Indian earning outside, foreigner earning inside India. We have to answer these 2 questions as T or E. That is taxable or exempt. If taxable, then I will include in entity, and if exempt, I will not include. And therefore, the sentence says the calculation depends on residential status. Chapter number 2. Residential status and scope of total income. Residential status and scope of total income. Residential status and scope of total income. Everyone is with me? This chapter is actually divided into 2 parts. Part 1 of the chapter is residential status, and part 2 of the chapter is scope of total income. Scope of total income has been given in section 5. See, till 4 we are done, no charging section. And by the way, section 3 previous year, now we know. So section 1 title and commencement, not required. 2 definitions, wherever required, we will be learning. 3 pre-buy, done. 4 charging section. And now 5 is giving us scope of total income. 6 is giving us residential. Of course, so chronologically in section number, scope of total income comes first. But we will be learning residential status first. So first part of the chapter, residential status. Second part of the chapter, scope of total income. What is this chapter going to teach us? In the first part, the taxpayer. I call this taxpayer what? Assessing. assessee, that is the person liable to pay tax, will be divided into two categories. We were saying no, Indian earning or foreigner earning. Well, wrong terminology. Just like saying non-taxable income is not correct. What do we call it? Exempt. 5 categories of income is not correct. Likewise, we will not call them Indian and foreigner. We will call this resident and non-resident. What will we call them? Resident and non-resident. Resident and non. Taxpayers will be divided into two categories, resident and non-resident. When an Indian is going outside for earning, we will say resident is having foreign income. And when a foreigner is coming for earning, we will say non-resident is having Indian income. You understand? We will from now onwards stop calling them Indian foreigner. The correct terminology is resident and so taxpayers will be divided. In the first part of the chapter, taxpayers will be divided in two categories, that is resident and in the second part of the chapter, the incomes that you are earning will be divided into two types of income. Your income can be income earned in India, so that is Indian income, or your income can be income earned outside India, that is foreign income. First part will divide taxpayers into two categories, that is resident and non-resident. Second part will divide income into two categories, that is Indian income and foreign income. So what is possible? That a resident has earned Indian income or resident has earned foreign income, or second, non-resident has earned Indian income or non-resident has earned. So see if you are able to understand the four permutations. Permutation 1, resident having Indian income. Second, resident having foreign income. This is basically Indian cricket team paying abroad right now. Third, non-resident having Indian income. And fourth, non-resident having foreign income. Do you understand the four permutations? Fantastic. When we come to the income side, scope of total income, the second part of the chapter, do you understand? Here also, following are the possibilities. Indian income can be earned by resident or non-resident, and foreign income can be earned by resident or non-resident. So, under the taxpayer side, there are four permutations. Under income side, there are four permutations. So, totally there are rubbish. These are same four. Use your common sense. Indian income of resident is same as resident Indian income. Indian income of non-resident is same as non-resident Indian income. Hello. 3. Permutation number 3. Foreign income of resident is same as permutation 2. And foreign income of non-resident. So do you understand the combos are same 4? You learn it from the taxpayer point of view or you learn it from income point of view. Ultimately 4 permutations. Indian earning in India nahi. Now we change it to the correct term. Resident earning in India is our first possibility. You and me will waste a time if we actually sit and discuss taxable or not taxable. Correct? Hai? Non-resident, will not say foreigner, non-resident earning in his country, not taxable. Correct? Hai? This chapter is being taught to you. Why, sir? To answer these 2 questions. This is where I told you Virat Kohli is going and earning in a foreign country, and Ben Stokes is coming and earning in India. This chapter is being taught only for these two situations. This chapter, when we did the introduction, when I told you about charging section, I told you that for this answer we have the next chapter. Ladies and gentlemen, the answer now is in front of you. Both situations, it is going to be taxable, taxable, taxable. Government of India will levy tax on you at the slightest and the earliest available opportunity. So the only case and place that they will not touch is non-resident foreign income. Because just imagine, Joe Biden has retired as American president and he starts some activity in America. Is he making money there? So what will government of India say? If you have income, then you have to pay tax. Income tax is payable on net taxable total income. Bro, Biden, good guy. He may just pay. You don't know. Trump will explode bombs in our country. And I'm talking about Trump. Let's not talk about the North Korea. You know the North Korea guy? Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un. You know North Korea का foreign policy? No social media allowed, no nothing allowed. You are not allowed to keep contact with people of other countries. South Korea ka prime minister also cannot enter North Korea, otherwise they will kill him. You know North Korea, what lovely way they tackled COVID, bro. Inspiration for the whole world. North Korea did not have a single COVID death. You know how? The moment someone coughed, they shot that person dead. No COVID death. And in Marathi, you will not understand. Sorry, but let me talk to the class students here. In Marathi, we called it "Jo kokla त्याला ठोकला." Kokla is cough in Marathi. Thokla means shot dead. That's North Korea for you. So we can't touch their foreign income. But wherever we can touch, we will touch. And therefore, the two in between situations for which we had started the chapter, the answer now is very, very clear. Now, I will not say Indian going and earning abroad. I will say resident having foreign income. What is the answer? Taxable. Non-resident having Indian income. Taxable. So, the only time where you don't have to pay tax is non-resident foreign income. Resident Indian income, obviously, and non-resident foreign income, obviously. But the two in between situations are taxable. Sir, why like this? Because, for example, here if you see the income is earned in the foreign country, and here if you see the person does not belong to our country. Why? To explain the logic of this, you all understood the answer? The answer for which we started this chapter, for both situations, the answer is you have to pay tax. Means these incomes you will have to include. Indian cricket team is earning money for playing matches outside India. Whatever money they get, when they calculate their income here, they will have to add these incomes in their taxable income. You understand? Everyone? In order to understand this reason, logic, why taxable, I am going to introduce to you a concept of CA final international tax. First of all, only someone who is teaching CA final and 1.5 decades. And believe me, only last couple of years, I am spending more and more time with inter students and very less time with final, because post-COVID, no, final students are not students. They have become dead bodies. Every morning they come to the class like bodies. 7 o'clock ka lecture. By the time the lecture gets over, they slightly come back to life, but it is time for them to go to their office, and next morning again they come as dead bodies. Their feelings, their emotions, everything inside them has died. They are only living dead bodies. They don't want to come to class. Such a poor culture that is being created in terms of education now. Students don't want to come to class. Well, sir, give me recording, give me this. See, outstation students who don't have enough local facilities are still online life is better. Because 4 hours lecture is 4 hours of study. When you watch this recording, For 4 hours, you will have to sit for 8 hours. But they want to watch the recording. They don't want to come to class. So I am very strict. 7 o'clock lecture also, you can't come to my class late. And I can be strict because I have in my career never walked into a classroom late. 10 o'clock, they have to run to their office. They're like, sir, at our personal luxury and privilege, no, we will watch your lectures. I am a seller. You buy anything, as long as you buy from me, it is good. See, I am not going to go into the ethics and morals. I am the highest seller of my subject across the country. Because no other faculty can tackle English and Hindi language both. When I am dealing with South Indian students, I will talk in English, I know that. And by the way, the Hindi audience also, I clearly tell them that, okay, for your convenience, you are learning whatever you are in Hindi. Believe me, the law is written in English. Your interviews will be conducted in English. You have to write your exams in English. Your post-qualification work, during articleship also your work, everything has to be done in English. I don't say English is a measurement of intelligence, but it is the language of the profession. You have to use it. But no other faculty can tackle. You will generally see 99% Hindi in their lectures. In their English lectures also, I appreciate that they are trying, but they struggle to speak one line straight. One straight line also. The point is simple. If students don't want to come to class, I am not going to give them lessons on morals and ethics. You want to buy video lectures? Buy. As long as you are paying me, it's the right decision. Sir, simple hai. Person who is selling alcohol or cigarettes knows that it is bad, no? But you have decided that you want to buy. Then I will sell. Nothing wrong. It's bad, you don't buy. And if you're buying, then there's nothing wrong in me selling. So anybody who has done CA final for 1.5 decades, and since CA final ka students ka, this attitude changed. I was like, okay, I'll take limited batches of CA final. Ultimately, whoever wants to come to the classroom will come for that batch, and whoever does not want to, in any case, will not come, even if I make the timetable as per your convenience. You have decided you want recording, you take that. And I am spending crazy time with intermediate students. That is making me more and more of the Gen Z on a day-to-day basis. Because so many things I learn from them actually. And intermediate students have no bloody idea about this. Because most coaching classes ka system is simple. At intermediate level, they will be keeping a very, very underpaid faculty. Because intermediate mein they cannot afford expensive faculty. They will reserve the expensive faculty for CA final. When you have to decide, no sir, where I should go for CA inter. I'm not doing any kind of marketing in front of you. You're already here. But general advice to your juniors also who listen to you should be that your criteria is you go and check the faculty team of the class at inter and final. If the subject is common like financial management, direct tax, indirect tax, and the same teacher is teaching at inter and final, that means that class will do justice. This is the benchmark. And most coaching classes you will see they will reserve the less low paid faculty for inter because they don't want to pay a very expensive teacher. And final ka teachers are very, very expensive. So they don't want to pay them at inter. And I have a criteria that I will work with you only if I am taking both, otherwise I will not work. Because I will make the strong base of the students at inter, then it is my duty to take them further. And alternatively, if you tell me take only final, so how do I handle them who don't know basics also? Things are getting out of hand. And therefore, this is the condition to work with any organization. Sir, we can't afford you at inter. No problem. Tell me your budget. And believe me, if you will see my bank statement, no, you will have so much sympathy for me now. For conducting these intermediate batches, you will be, sir, we are with you, sir. Sir, give your QR code, sir. We will try to do something for you. You will have that sympathy. Sir, I will give one iPhone to you, sir. Bro, don't give me, I dislike Apple to the core. Bro, I am anti-Apple forever. For basic apps also people have to download Android separately. So final CA ka very very important topic will give you answer to this. What, sir? Globally, there are two principles of levy of tax. See, there are some countries which have no income tax. We call them tax haven countries. Yeah, it is tax heaven, huh? Not heaven. Jannat dikhata. It is not that heaven, not that Jannat. Swarg, what do you call it? No, it is tax heaven. A country which does not levy income tax. For example, there is no income tax in Dubai. They have enough oil reserves to make money. Of course, next decade when EV will rule the market, so these Arabic countries will go bankrupt because the only way they are making money is by selling oil to the world. But then Dubai ka people are very very smart. They have already started converting Dubai into such a big tourism hub. Every 2 years Dubai is different. Every 2 years you can actually go for a Dubai trip because whatever attractions you have been to have changed. They are spending huge money. Bro, in no time they created Burj Khalifa. Excellent place to be. So as of now, they are not levying income tax. They recently started something called corporate tax. The companies have to pay tax, but personal, individual income tax does not exist. So there are some countries which won't levy income tax. Ignore those. There will be some countries that levy income tax. For example, India. Thank God India levies income tax. Hey bro, I am feeding my family. Thank God India levies income tax. Huh? So if the country is levying income tax, it will levy on any of these two principles. There is something called principle of residence and there is something called principle of source. The country which is applying principle of residence will be called your home country and the country which is applying principle of source will be your host country. Principle of residence says if you are resident in my country, if you are resident in my country, your global income, your world income will be taxable. Matlab, if you are a resident in any country, you have to pay tax on income earned in that country and income earned in any other country also. Therefore, if you are a resident in India, do you have to pay tax on your Indian income? Of course, you also have to pay tax on your. Because India is your home country and it is applying the principle of. And this India is not doing. Any country in the world that is levying income tax is doing this. This is a global policy that a resident has to pay tax on world income or global income, whatever you want to call it. Resident has to pay tax on world income, global income, which covers that country's income or foreign country's income. You understood this? At the same time, the whole world, not just India, says supposingly you are non-resident in my country. If you are non-resident, so obviously we cannot tax your foreign income. No country in the world will do. But if you come to my country and make money in the land of my country, so at least we deserve the right to take tax on that share because you're going to earn in my country and take the money away. So before going, pay the land, its share, and therefore at least income earned in that country. India is our example. This is a global policy, not just India. Any country in the world, if you are resident, it will take tax on world income. And if you are non-resident, it will still take tax on that country's income. So even if you are non-resident, if you make money in my country, we will take tax. So when we are taxing resident on foreign income, it is because it is the home country and we are applying the principle of residence. And when we are taxing non-resident on Indian income, we are the host country, we are applying the principle of source. And this is a concept that will come in every chapter of CA final international tax. Today CA final DT is 100 marks, but 30 marks is international tax in that. And in that 30 marks, we have about 6-7 chapters. Every chapter this comes. Every chapter this concept comes. Prepare yourself today itself. Globally, there are two principles of levy of tax. That is principle of residence, principle of source. Principle of residence and principle of source. Principle of residence will be applied by the home country. Principle of source will be applied by the host country. If you are a resident in any country, that is your home country, and that country will levy tax on your income earned across the globe. Global income, world income will be taxable. But if you are a non-resident, at least that country can tax you on that country's income. So resident Indian income, bro, both principles are being applicable. Resident foreign income, why is it taxable? Principle of residence, home country. Non-resident Indian income, why is it taxable? Host country, principle of source. Non-resident foreign income, we cannot tax because neither residence nor source. In any country, this is not done by India. Any country that levies tax, it has to be one of them. And if you observe the last permutation here, it is none of them. Neither residence nor source, which is why we cannot tax this in India. So, finally, if you are resident or if you have Indian income, any one of the two situations, tax will be attracted. And thus, the only case where tax will not come is non-resident foreign income. So, very quickly, resident Indian income, you just have to say taxable or not taxable. Resident Indian income. Taxable. Resident foreign income. Arre, foreign income. Foreign income. Taxable or not taxable? Foreign income. Why? Principle of residence, home country. Non-resident Indian income. Non-resident. Principle of. So it is still non-resident foreign income. Not taxable. Understood? Principle of residence and principle of source. And understood the answer to the two questions for which we started the chapter. We started the chapter for two intermediary situations. Indian going outside. Now we will not say Indian. We will say resident foreign income. And we will not say foreigner. We will say non-resident. We have answer to both situations. What is the answer? Taxable. We also know the reason, the global principles. So, have we answered the question for which we started the chapter? Yes. So, sir, we can say that our chapter 2 is also no. No. Sir, we understood that this situation is to taxable from the beginning. And this situation was not taxable from the beginning. We started the chapter for these two situations and now we have answer for both of them. This is taxable because principle of residence and this is taxable because principle of. You know the answer. But what you don't know is, sir, who is resident, who is non-resident? What do you mean by resident? Sir, who stays here is resident. Sir, who stays here is resident, who does not stay here is non-resident. What if someone stays here, gone out for some days? Someone stays there, came here for some days. What about that? Sir, that we will learn in the first part of the chapter. When does one become resident or non-resident? If you become resident, what is the impact? Global income will become taxable. If you become non-resident, though, at least Indian income will be taxable. Correct? So, we have to understand this. And of course, we have to understand what is Indian income, what is foreign income. Again, don't react by saying, so in India is India. Listen, I work in India and I get my money in India. It is Indian income. I work outside India and I get my payment outside India. That is foreign income. That is easy. But is it possible? I complete your batch in India. Then I go on a holiday and I get my payment there. Work in India, payment outside India. Other way around, I do work outside India and I get my payment in India. So what do you classify these incomes as? Indian or foreign? You understand the question? We have to answer what is resident, what is non-resident, what is Indian income, what is foreign income. Once we know the answers to these four questions, chapter will get over because tax treatment is already over. Residence or source, income will be taxable. But we don't know what is resident, what is non-resident, what is Indian income, what is. And once we do that, second chapter will also get over. Now this chapter is only about learning the meaning of these four concepts: resident, non-resident, Indian income, and foreign income. You understood? Maybe couple of lectures or third lecture with questions. So fifth lecture from the beginning you will get done. I will see you guys tomorrow.